Nous sommes ravis de votre patience. Bienvenue dans cette nouvelle version améliorée de l'émission. Welcome to the flat. Footy from the flat is starting. Footy from the flat is starting. Footy from the flat is starting. The footy is starting.
Yes, welcome back to another episode of Footy from the Flat live on the True Footy YouTube channel. My co-host today, Jesse, is reeling from a shocking performance, a disgusting performance by the West Coast Eagles yesterday against Port Adelaide. Mate, talk to me.
You've been watching a bit of Kane Corns on Fireball.
I have.
Or I don't know. I tried to watch that episode on YouTube, but I don't think it's out yet.
No, they dropped it.
Did they?
Yeah.
No, I missed it.
It's not with Kingy though. It was with the other bloke.
Sam Edmund?
Yes.
Yeah. I did share it. Yeah. I thought actually watching that clip, it was a pretty good take, to be honest. I mean, you know, Kane Corns goes pretty hard. But Sam Edmund also pointed out, I was glad to see there was at least a balanced argument, which was, yes, the skills were disgusting, if you want to go with that word. But there were some things that West Coast did well out of the game. It was a weird game. I'm not going to say it was a good performance, but at least they considered all facets of that.
I feel like from where we were last week, we've completely flipped on where we're sitting because I was in that exact same situation. We've had obviously like a better performance against Collingwood at the weekend, and you've had that absolute stinker that just sets you up for like a wonderful year.
I feel pretty level though. Like I don't think
really?
I was particularly positive before, but I'm also cognizant of the fact it is pre-season, as there's some sort of squeegee noise coming from.
There is some cleaning going on upstairs.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone will be able to hear that on the stream, so we shouldn't be too concerned about it. But it is quite loud in here. But I think I do think there was a level of optimism brewing in the West Coast fan base. There always is this time of year, big club, high expectations, and you've had a couple of bad seasons, and there has been I think a prevailing thought that you will come back up the ladder pretty quickly. Do you still feel that?
I think that is the default mindset of a lot of Eagles fans.
Okay.
That wasn't necessarily my belief this year. I didn't see anything that really surprised me, albeit the skills were worse than I was expecting. And I'm hoping if the skills tidy up from that game, then we default back to being, you know, just a bad team. But
just a shit side.
Yeah, we just made ourselves look a little bit worse. And I'm just hoping that's not how we play in round one, let alone the rest of the 23 rounds.
Who have you got in round one?
The Gold Coast Suns. That's
that's great.
People's First Stadium, I believe. Yeah, on a dewy Sunday night, no doubt. So skills are going to be top notch, I'm sure.
What did you take of the preseason overall? I feel more than ever this one was very like fans were riding this preseason for like any positive nuggets that they could find, looking for that reason why they can make the finals coming into this season. Do you think we overreact to it? Do you think it's sort of, I don't know, does it tell a story, the preseason?
In my opinion, this happens every year, and it's sort of like giving birth. We kind of forget about what it's like. Maybe that's a terrible analogy. I don't know if that's right. It sounded right before I said it. But the point being, like, we forget about it until it happens again. And we forget that we do this every year. We blow narratives out of proportion a little bit because we've been starved of footy. So we're being drip fed this stuff, and we're analysing the crap out of these preseason games. And particularly if you're in the fantasy space, like how much time on board did they get?
Yeah.
And, you know, what are their stats? And we analyse it far more than we do rounds 5 to 9. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a fairly big deviation once the actual season starts. That being said, I was thinking with the results that happened this week, I don't know how many would actually be different. Like, how many of those were real surprise results? Maybe a couple. I
Just
would say.
margins, maybe.
Yeah, well, I would say North beating Collingwood would be an upset.
It would
right?
be an upset.
Albeit they did have a few players out. And Carlton beating Geelong would also be an upset. I think they beat them last year, didn't they? Not
they
beat them.
in the home and away season. I think they've actually had the wood over them a little bit in the last couple of years.
Yeah, right.
Blues over the Cats. No, but you're right. I think probably the thing that you would say is an aberration is like would Melbourne beat North Melbourne by 80 points in a home and away season? I fucking hope not. And would you guys would go into this season with a team like Port Adelaide going, we should be able to stay close to them. I would have thought you wouldn't want to lose by more than 5 goals.
Yeah, I mean, last home and away season, I think we stayed within around that range at Adelaide Oval. In this particular game, I think it was one of those ones where our skills were so bad that Port Adelaide just got easy looks at goal. And if we tighten up those skills, the numbers of that game were actually a lot closer. We weren't close to being as good as them.
Statistically, you're in the game.
But in terms of the things that West Coast were so bad at last year, the numbers actually read pretty well, but they got scored heavily on even 2 massive patches.
It kind of does, though. I think it speaks to where the game is going futuristically a little bit. Like, it's all about punish. And they just have better players than you.
Yeah.
They have more classy players, more damaging players, and they can put it on the scoreboard really, really quickly. I think that's where we've seen the game go in the last 3 to 4 years. The teams that they can score quickly, they can pile it on and just be ruthless on you. And I think Port Adelaide, I think you said it in your video yesterday, you said like they sensed a kill.
Yeah.
And once they sensed it, it was all over.
Yeah, and West Coast would have the least punish of any club.
Yes.
By far. And,
they had the Bunbury game.
Yeah, that's right.
The Bunbury game. Like,
yeah.
you flogged us in the first half of that game, but you put nothing on us.
In the last quarter against Port Adelaide, Eagles had 19 inside 50s to 4. And I don't think they won the quarter. If they did, it was marginally. But that just, we got territory. We had more time in our forward half. And again, not suggesting there wasn't a huge gap between the two sides. But there are things West Coast got better at in that game. And then by virtue of their terrible skills and inability, you just can't defend when you turn over the ball that badly and blatantly. And therefore, they also get puffed earlier because they're chasing us all day.
100%. I've just, the chat's come up here. So Borat and Sheedy show is back from Speedy Kanga. I love that. I'm going to go with that.
We're going to have to make some merch.
I think we can.
Borat and Kevin Sheedy.
Yeah. I was very hurt emotionally when that first came up, but I've lent into it. I'm kind of feeling it now.
No, I think I copped it pretty bad too.
Borat's kind of. There's
not Sacha Baron Cohen. Borat.
Yeah, there is a
charm.
There is a sexual quality.
That's true. It's the Mankini.
The Mankini. Elijah Wilson says, "Are you going to be streaming many games this year? You have to stream heaps of games this year."
Yeah. Well, we're going to start with Sydney versus Carlton this week on Thursday nights. We may even have a guest. We're just going to tease that a little bit. We've been working on something.
Could be a big dog.
We can't promote it yet. It may be a large dog. Yeah, Dylan got a dog. So we will be live here on YouTube and also on Sideline FM. And I'm really keen to see how it sounds on Sideline because the benefit of Sideline, which we're also live on right now, is that the delay is much smaller, slighter, lower latency.
Oh, yeah.
We have 4 listening on Sideline at the moment. Brand new platform, very exciting. G'day Sideline FM, who's in the chat as well. And very keen to see how that sounds on Thursday where you can hear us react to the goals basically as they happen, not 30 seconds later.
Absolutely. Reese Goat 13 says, started early today, lads. Special occasion tonight.
Yeah, we can never actually stay on our schedule at all. We're either a little bit late or sometimes in the past we've been very late. And today we just arbitrarily picked a time slot a little bit earlier.
We're still, to be honest, I think we're still working out this Monday time slot, the exact time going forward. Last week we went 5 o'clock. Today we've gone a little bit earlier.
That's right.
We're working that out. But I think we will, coming into round 1, I think we'll have that worked out.
Yeah, totally. Hopefully.
Yes. Yeah. We sound very sure. We sound very sure. Tigers signed Tom Burton as an SSP. Thoughts on him, Dill? We were just talking about this because I just saw it come up on my Instagram before we went live. And I think he's a fantastic player. I think this is a really good pickup. I don't know how much time he's going to get in that team early days, but I think they'll bring him in. He's got a lot of footy IQ, very smart player. Probably overall, you would say that he lacks a little bit of damage with the ball. He's very much like a small radius player, not a lot of penetration to him. He's quite quick, particularly over the first couple of steps, but he'll come in, he can play as a midfield depth player or a bit of cross halfback as well. And I think he could play at some point this year. And I reckon Richmond will try him as they're down the bottom of the ladder.
Pretty big career deviation after making all those movies with Johnny Depp. Oh, that's Tim Burton. Never mind. I'm sorry.
I was like, where are you?
You know, some of my jokes are not worth saying out loud.
The best part about that is like how far back you lined that up in your head, because I know you were doing it like on the pre-show as well.
No, that was totally organic.
Oh, definitely. Reef Luke, how you going, mate? Good afternoon, gents.
Got a few members in the chat. We got Reef Luke and we got Rogue Riot.
Shout them out. They're coloured.
Yes, that's how we know who a member is.
Yes.
Speaking of, actually, I will quickly shout out. We have 13 members now here on True Footy. And I wanted to give a shout out to those who have joined since the last show that we did. And I'm currently stalling as I scroll looking for this list. Play it cool, Jesse. Brian Feeney, Tate on top, Mark Triscothic, I think, or Triscothic.
Triscothic?
Yeah, I was thinking he used to open the batting for
cricketer.
England
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Yep.
As a mate and Toby Payne, thank you for supporting the channel. Really appreciate you.
That is lovely. So I've just shared the story of us going live to Instagram. I thought I did that before, but apparently I didn't.
All good.
So a little bit of news to kick in for the week. Stephen May retires. A contractual settlement was reached last week. Stephen May was the captain of the Gold Coast Suns, a two-time All-Australian, a premiership player. How will Stephen May be remembered? And what do you think of this whole saga that's encapsulated the off-season for the Demons?
Yeah, it's been a strange one, almost unforeseen. I'm trying to think of another example of a player who's been shopped around and then when they didn't get a new home were basically advised to retire. It was settled with a confidential settlement, I believe, which I'd imagine implies that the Demons are just saying, we'll pay you maybe not the whole contract, but a lot of it for your last year.
It was rumoured to be upwards of 450,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the D's, I suppose
don't quote me on that, but that's the rumours, and it's a bit like some journalists have gone with that.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah. So I suppose Melbourne are in the position to spend that money because I presume they have room. It's already accounted for in their salary cap anyway. Yeah. But they simply wanted him off their list. I suppose it gives him the opportunity to play somewhere else. I think he might be playing VFL. I saw an article.
Oh, really?
He signed with some club. I'm not sure if it's VFL or Amos. Didn't click on it. But
I said it when it first, like this news first dropped a few weeks ago, that like I kind of couldn't believe that they didn't just cut straight away. Like when they shopped him around in the off season, if you wanted him gone, you got rid of Clayton Oliver. Not that Christian Petrarca was never really one that had sort of character issues, but you sort of you cleaned out this old guard. And then to kind of sit there on Stephen May, it felt strange to me culturally.
I think my response to that at the time was if there's a well-being element to this, they have to play it very carefully. Because I think, the way it was reported that Stephen May was going through something.
I think there's a legal matter.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
That's a part of this.
Exactly right, which may have complicated the whole, let's sack him now thing. But evidently that is kind of what they wanted to do. So it's an interesting one.
Do you think the money factor is a big deal? Like I said at the time, I think sometimes with these situations, I think for the benefit of the club going forward, you do have to take that financial hit. And it's not, I wouldn't have thought that Melbourne, with where they're at, they would be right in salary cap breach areas with the cuts that they've made to other players. So do you think it's a good call just to make it and take that financial hit, or do you think it's going to cost them at some point?
I mean, it's not ideal, but they've already spent the money. That's going. So it's just the opportunity cost of having someone on the list. Do you want him on the list or not? And they have already signed Paddy Cross from Casey as a replacement as well. So I don't think there's a real big deal. I mean, the money that exists in the salary cap is literally just it's just a token. You know what I mean? It's not, it is real money, but it's
it's not real money, Jesse.
Yeah, but
know that.
Yeah. They've got to spend it anyway. So I don't think the financial element is a big deal at all.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think they had to do this. I think this actually gives them a little bit of stimulation coming into the start of the season now that they've got clean air. They don't have something like that kind of hanging over the club. They're not going to have the news stories ongoing, which is, ultimately a benefit. And I think that with such a young team that Melbourne are at the moment, I think it's only a good thing for them.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, I just noticed in the chat, first of all, Thomas Payet, former West Ham player. that right?
No.
Did he play West Ham?
Payet it wasn't Thomas, was it?
Oh, it was Dimitri, wasn't it?
Dimitri Payet. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
That was weird. Thank you so much for becoming a member after all that. I'm now so embarrassed that I thought you were a West Ham player. But thank you so much. And also somebody, Muddy Bag says, looks like the sideline stream crash. I just had a look. It looks like it's going now, and it's only been going for 50 seconds. So we may have had a tech thing there.
Oh.
Okay, we restarted it. That's all. Hopefully
We're
it's
back.
going okay now. If you need to refresh.
We are
Let's say a
back.
few people are listening, so that's good.
Dank, I'm going to say this wrong. Dank Msaus? Saus?
I think you did that pretty well, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Msaus. He helped them win a flag. They're just paying that off.
Fair. Yeah, you asked me what he'll be remembered for. I think being that like 1-2 punch with Lever in that 2021 backline, that was the hallmark. Well, one of the hallmarks of that team, but there's strong backline. But I must admit, one of the first things that comes to my mind is him getting punched by Campbell Brown.
Yeah.
Which was before anyone really knew who Stephen May was.
He's just such a little bastard, wasn't he? Like, to be honest, like his
So was
entire...
Campbell Brown.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 100%. But like, he just kind of had that, like the Jake Melksham thing. Like, if you look at the rap sheet overall, I know that the Jake Melksham sort of punch up, it would have probably been down the list as far as seriousness. But that felt really grubby, didn't it? Rumored what he said, which apparently he did say, which was that we would have lost if you played in the grand final.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
They won by 12 goals. So it's pretty savage.
Yeah, it's like just, I don't know, like it's so, why do that? I don't know. But obviously on field, he was an awesome player. I actually found like a Reddit comment from a random Bombers fan that said, the Lever-May partnership will go down as something special. Two completely different personalities, but still communicated in an elite way, even if it got hot at times.
Yeah. What was that other? Wasn't it didn't he get stuck into Max Gawn in the King's birthday game
just
as well?
this year, or just 2025.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
when
because Gawn had that, they needed a score, right? And Gawn just went corridor, scuffed the kick, and then Collingwood
bagged it.
Yeah, I think was it level at the time, and then May gave him a spray anyway.
Can't remember. I feel like it did cost them the game from memory.
It did.
Yeah.
But like, to be fair, I think they'd kind of already, like, they had to score. They just didn't score, but then Collingwood also scored. So it was kind of a double whammy. But yeah, anyway, Stephen May retires. That will be the end of him.
Yep.
And Melbourne look forward. A bit of other news is that the Brownlow medal voting has officially changed. So the umpires traditionally didn't get to see statistics or anything like that. They would just come away from the game. They would go into a little room. They would meet with each other and chat about who they thought was the best player for the day. Now they are going to get access to stats, and this has first been trialled, as Greg Swan has let us know. It was trialled in the State of Origin game, where the umpires were given statistics and they came to the conclusion that Nick Dacos was the best player on the ground that day. Greg Swan said, "We've trialled it. We did it during the Origin game and it worked really well. It was well received by the umpires. They'll still go in and have a chat about who they think is best on before looking at the stats." Do we think this is a improvement to the Brownlow medal or not?
Yes, I do. So with that State of Origin one, the umpires were asked who they thought.
Yeah, I don't think there was no medal. So there was.
Yeah, Lockie Ash won it.
Yeah, but that was the coaches. So
right.
I use that as an example because that was different to what the coaches said.
Okay, sorry, I'm with you now.
Yeah, but the umpires apparently trialled it. There was no award that was actually given out to Nick Dacos, so he didn't get anything for this. But they did choose him. Apparently.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
He was just a guinea pig.
I reckon it would tighten up some of the howlers you get throughout the year. Like the one that comes to mind is Horn Francis' 13 possession and 5 clanger game that got 3 votes.
Matt Rowell, 15 last year.
Is that right?
He had a couple in the teens.
I feel like Lockie Neal had some questionable ones in 2023. When did he win it? The second one.
23.
Yeah.
Cripps 24.
Yes. I reckon there was a game where Cameron kicked 7 and Lockie Neal won it with like 20 or less possessions.
Yeah.
Well, it got the 3 votes, that is. So I reckon it would tighten up some of those howlers. I can't see how it makes it worse with the understanding that hopefully umpires don't just go off the stats.
The argument would be about making it worse that it has a level of randomness to it. I'm not saying that I necessarily agree with this, but this would be the argument that the mystique of the Brownlow, the majesty of the Brownlow, kind of like the umpires voting on it and the randomness around them voting on it plays into that a little bit because they can make those mistakes, which gives us some unique winners.
That's true, although we do find the outcomes generally trend the same way.
Exactly.
So I don't know if it doesn't spit out any real interesting ones.
I think Jared Davis did a video on it and he kind of said like we get those like unusual winners like a Matt Prittis and he might have even thrown like Wines and those kind of ones, but they're all the same types of players.
Exactly.
So they're not really unique. It's not like Mitch Georgiades wins the Brownlow in a random good year.
Yeah.
It's always going to be that inside contested midfielder. What I think they missed, like I'm going to give my opinion here, which is I think they kind of missed the trick to actually take it off the umpires.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done. I think this is like half-assing it a little bit. So this is going to take the randomness out of it. This will end up, I agree with you, it'll take away those howlers and it'll turn it into I think more of your outside midfielders will start to win this now. They get more of the footy on the, not just inside. But they could have just taken it off the umpires, turned it into an actual, like a proper, a panel sitting down, judging the game for what it is and being able to look at it holistically.
Yeah. I guess there's probably like logistical things with getting a panel to do every
Costs
single
more.
game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'd have to have multiple panels. And that would also...
Yeah.
Well, no, that's probably fine because there'd be multiple umpires, though those are variable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah, you
It's
could
just
do that.
The only thing is that the umpires are already paid to do a job and you don't have to pay them anymore.
Yeah.
And if you get a panel, you obviously have to arrange that in some way. But I'm sure they'd find like a sponsor and like work it out.
I like the coaches doing it.
Does that okay?
It takes away from the coaches award.
The coaches award,
yeah,
then.
But then what's the downside to eliminating the coaches award?
Is there a little bit of what's the word for it? Conflict of interest in the coaches picking like an award like that?
Possibly. Yeah, because they could back their players. And yeah, in theory, that's true. You'd probably want it to be impartial. I just think that they tend to, given that I presume it right now they're not making biased votes. Because there's no mystique around that. Or there's no like...
nobody.
Yeah, if you win the Coaches Award, it barely gets reported on.
I'm sure the players feel proud that they win it, but nobody cares.
Yeah, but in my time, like looking at the bests, I found it more interesting what the coaches thought because they tend to give a little more credit to those who really impact the game and help win the game, or like the losing coach being like, that guy killed us.
That's
that
the
day.
Lockie Ash one.
Yeah.
Because the coaches identified that they lost Wiedering early in the game and he did a job above what he was supposed to do. And that's why they picked him over Nick Dacos, who had 38 and kicked 1 or 2 or whatever it was.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. So in summary, I think it would be great to take it off the umpires, to be honest.
Yeah, so do I.
I'm intrigued to see what impact this will have and whether we start getting different types of winners is probably what I'm intrigued to see.
What would be, yeah, I agree with that. You might get like a Finn Callahan and Ed Richards might start to poll a little bit better.
Yes. Yeah.
What would be your absolute, you're deciding how the Brownlow is voted on. What would be your pick?
I think a panel is a good suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say coaches, but as you said, if the Brownlow is decided by coaches, I can see a conflict of interest that I didn't really consider before.
Okay.
Could we get you do want to take that out
could we
of it.
get like a Eurovision style text in? Like $4 text, and you text the winner in. Isn't that actually how like the Ballon d'Or is done in soccer? Isn't that like I think it's maybe combined. It's like partly from a panel, partly from people,
from fans,
from fan vote as well. I think so.
That's a massive.
I could be wrong
there.
I could be wrong. Sleeping Shadow, Dylan, that take about the Bruno is actually dumb AF. Okay, cool, man. Cool.
I think we might be having issues with sideline. It is currently off.
It's currently off. Okay, we'll get on that. Spaniard says exactly what Dylan is saying. The Brownlow is a fun thing, and that's why it works without stats. Let the umps be silly and make it a media medal, which it is. If you want it real, it shouldn't be umps. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I feel. It's like if that's the award, I know that there's a history to it because the umpires have always done it. But then again, how long has the Brownlow actually been an award? People often reference this and they're like, it's been like this for 150 years, and it's like we didn't have the Brownlow medal 150 years ago.
When did Chaz Brownlow play?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
nobody knows that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It was definitely a thing in like the 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
I reckon.
But it's a modern thing.
Yeah,
surely
that's true.
Surely. We do have a super chat here from King Cruel 15. Thoughts on an AFL reserves comp? Would it help West Coast? I'm going to leave that with you while I have a look at sideline.
Thank you, Dylan. thoughts on AFL reserves comp. I think this is something the AFL has been building toward. I'm all for it, really. I mean, I suppose it would help West Coast because West Coast are in the waffle and the rules placed and the restrictions on what West Coast can do from a recruitment point of view do hinder it. So if they're playing in a league against other AFL teams where there's the same recruiting rules for all of them, I suppose that helps. But, they're probably still going to be a poor team if they're a poor AFL team. I'd be all for an AFL reserves comp. It'd be nice to see your Rezzies play against AFL listed players, a little bit more apples for apples. There's probably logistical downsides for the actual players. Trying to think, you'd still need top-up players. They'd still need to be paid, particularly if they're going to be flying into state, which will be inevitable. So, you do have that with the VFL currently, don't you? Coaches' votes should be every coach gives a 3-2-1 at the end of the season. At the end of the season, can't vote for your own players. Would prevent bias towards making your own player win. That's true, but it's a bit of a shame if you can't vote for your own player. Like Craig McRae can't vote for Nick Dacos. And at the end of the season, there's too much bias that can happen. And I just mean cognitive bias, not necessarily for your own player. But you might just go, gee, Naz is good, for example.
Yeah.
But he only played good in 12 games, whereas Dacos played well in 21, for example.
Yes.
So the game by game thing, I think, has to stay.
Gotcha. I do love that about the Brownlow. The fact that it actually is like, you don't just have this award that's like, oh, we've decided Nick Dacos was the best player in 2025.
Yeah.
It actually does that like game by game.
Yeah.
That makes it, I think in itself, that makes it a bit mysterious.
True. Absolutely. Yeah. Because people have recency bias as well. And they'll forget like that someone for the first 10 weeks killed it.
100%. And like you do get those players who are a brand. Like I almost feel this season in 2025, as good as he was, like Bailey Smith's brand helped him in the Brownlow medal race a little bit for me.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, he's such a visible player. It's been a cliche thing for the umpires to spot. Mind you, he didn't really how close did he get to winning, Bailey?
He was up there. I think he was top 5.
Yeah, okay.
In the end.
Yeah. But he did also have a really good season. So
he had a great season.
Probably about
right.
I'm
not actually knocking him or anything, but I do feel like the players, I don't know, like where they sit in the media in kind of the social consciousness helps them a little bit in those kinds of awards, particularly if you're not doing it game by game. When you're actually, if you're deciding it at the end, those guys will come into your head more.
Yeah, true.
Is what I was saying.
Yeah, I'm with you now. I was going to say, because we've had some Brownlow medalists without a huge profile.
Oh, totally.
Like a Matt
Prentice. No, but that's what I was saying, that if you do it as an overall award, like I reckon with the Ballon d'Or, they always like to give it to someone who is a higher profile.
Yeah, gotcha.
Than just had a good one-off season.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you about George Wardlaw's hamstring. I don't know if you caught this news. It went pretty big there. I suppose we're coming at it a little bit old now, but Clarkson made a quote after the VFL. He did his hamstring in the VFL, and Clarkson came out to sort of justify the decision and said, well, yeah, but like we told him to take it easy. Yeah. Essentially, I'm paraphrasing here.
Yeah.
I think it was, we warned him to just get through. He went a bit hard and didn't get the memo. I'm paraphrasing, but that was kind of what he said. They let George Wardlaw, the raging bull, out into a VFL field and told him to chill.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's weird. I think you did a Insta clip on this.
I did do an Insta clip on this.
Because when you suggested just now that we talk about it, I was like, didn't we do this? And I was like, no, I just saw you talk about it. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's an odd one to coach a player to not play at 100%. I think it's fraught with danger. And
if you could
kind of
think,
unfair
though,
on the team too.
It's unfair on the team 100%. I mean, obviously the VFL is used for that.
Yeah,
at
and
times.
it's pre-season as well.
Yeah, I'm sure Nathan Fyfe was like ushered through some pre-season games. But if you could think of one player in the AFL or a handful of players in the AFL that would struggle to rein it in, I'd have George Wardlaw really high on that list of players who would struggle to rein it in.
Yeah, it does seem like a miscalculation. I agree with you. And so did he get re-injured in that game?
Yeah,
is that what happened?
He did the hamstring in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Clarkson basically got on the front foot, did an interview and said like, he looked okay, and then we also told him to chill.
Yeah.
And he didn't chill.
Yeah.
And basically like So in a way, I mean, people took it as, I don't know if you would take it this far, but people took it as also, they're also blaming him a little bit.
Yeah,
they're
that's
basically
true.
saying that like we said, don't go 100%. He went 100% and this is the consequences.
Yeah, it's an admission as well that he wasn't at 100%. Like
It
he
is.
wasn't really ready to play.
It's so like, yeah, it doesn't make you look good at all on any level.
No, I totally agree. So yeah, that's a bit of a stuff up.
Do you think that hurts Clarkson? I mean, he's been under a lot of pressure coming into the season. Do those sorts of things weigh into his future? Do you think from a coaching perspective? I know he wouldn't have made that decision alone.
Yeah. No, I think ultimately he'll be judged on how many wins North Melbourne get this year. I think that will be forgotten. But at a point where he is under an enormous amount of pressure, it's certainly bad PR for him. So I don't know. It's not going to erode public perception if North have 8 to 9 wins this year. I would say that's a positive step.
Yeah.
But then again, if Wardlaw doesn't get on the park because he keeps re-injuring this hamstring, maybe it won't be forgotten.
Yeah.
But fans will be like, oh, well, if he didn't do that pre-season injury in the VFL.
Do you know what I'm really sick of with Clarkson? How he makes these... Now I just sound like I'm kind of having a bitch being a North fan, but like he makes these little... in interviews, he'll make a comparison to a time that he coached Hawthorn as if it's like an equivalence to what it is. Like he did with this Wardlaw one, embedded in the same interview, he said... There's no doubting that 4 years in, we need him. In that draft, Jason Horne-Francis goes back to South Australia and we get George and Harry as part of that process. For mine, that was a little bit like getting Jared Roughhead and Lance Franklin. Gee, if they could be anything like those two, then we've hit the gold mine. What the fuck is the point of saying that?
Yeah, I agree that it's a pretty strange comparison.
Like, how has that come into that at all? We're talking about, that was in the same interview where he was being asked about this situation with George Wardlaw, which was all about him injuring his hammy in the VFL. How have Lance Franklin and Jared Roughhead got wedged into that? And he does it all the time. He did it with Zane Dersma and Jack Gunston.
Okay.
Some sort of a comparison around, I mean, I get it because they're kind of like that third tall type. He's like, he's going to be that Jack Gunston type for us. And he also said it with... when they were North were criticised about their drafting, and he's like, you can't just judge it on top end picks. And then he started talking about Luke Bruce, and he's like, we got Luke Bruce with pick 47, and look how that turned out. And it's like, what's that got to do with this? Cool. Like, I don't know. It's just like, is he like? I'm going to say that
clever. It's clever to brew a bit of excitement, I reckon.
I mean, is it clever or is it just really actually easy to see through?
Yeah, probably right. Let's be honest.
I don't know. It sounds like political BS.
It's showing a lot of faith, whether or not he really means it. But I mean, to be fair, the talent assessment of Shees on Wardlaw is pretty high.
Of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's sort of strange on so many levels because they're completely different players.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, Gunston and Dersma, there's a bit more of a comparison there.
Yeah.
You could see Dersma at least being that style of player.
Yeah.
Whereas Franklin and Roughhead, like, arguably the greatest key forward the modern era has ever seen, and Roughhead who's pretty damn good.
I know. It's just, I don't think it's helpful for North Melbourne fans to constantly have Clarkson's success with Hawthorn jammed in their faces when we're so far away from that.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'd say it's almost subtly reminding the North Melbourne fans that he did come from that club.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I do think it's a little bit of
he's
strategy
pretty much
in that.
like what he's actually saying is like respect.
Yeah.
A bit of respect here. 4 flags.
Yeah, it reminds me of that time I won 4 flags. Yeah. We got the centre bounce who says, of course, Wardlaw wasn't 100%. That's why he was in the VFL, not seniors. And Rift says, Eagles played Hewitt in the Waffle. Don't know if he's 100%. Those are good points. I suppose the difference there is when I meant 100%, I didn't mean match fitness. I just meant, has he recovered from a hamstring when he's had lots of hamstring issues before? Whereas Hewitt had a calf, which is not a recurring injury, and as far as I'm aware, was 100% just not fit.
I totally agree. I think, and it's player by player. George Wardlaw is, I would say he's verging on being a chronically injured soft tissue player, right?
Yeah.
And he even has that build. Like he has that explosive. You can see the muscles contracting when he runs.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's a weird one. And also being able to understand, like maybe West Coast have a relationship with Elijah Hewitt where they're like, you sort of can let him out there and just he'll glide around a bit and like we'll play him in a role.
Yeah.
that sort of works for that. But I don't know if like that works for George Wardlaw. Obviously, hindsight says that we can make that criticism now because he got injured.
Yeah.
So I understand that. But
That's true. Yeah. Well, yeah, as far as I'm aware, Hewitt's calf was minor and, like I said, not a recurring thing like Wardlaw's hamstrings have been.
yeah.
And Hewitt can play forward, which is probably where he kicks three
Exactly.
in the rifle. So, like, it's a little bit different to playing inside
You could
mid.
probably play him on the wing.
Yeah, he will play in the wing apparently this year.
Yeah.
Not to go on a tangent, but yeah.
We could. Let's keep going.
Deep dive that.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no.
No, but yeah, Wardlaw is a little bit more. I see Wardlaw as a midfield only player.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's a little bit tougher. So yeah, I don't know. Was it a little bit of malpractice, I suppose? It's so easy to say when I've got no expertise on this.
Maybe a bit of malcontent.
Ooh, or Mal Michaels.
What are people saying in the chat, actually? I'm interested. Rogie, what are you saying? Watching that preseason game yesterday, I could picture Dylan head in hands in that second quarter. North needed to show something, and they did in that second up. It's actually funny. I switched the game off at one point.
Really?
And then I checked the score.
Oh, yeah.
It was coming back, and
dog.
I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I saw the score balloon out in the first half.
Yeah.
We got Sorry.
Oh,
you
sorry.
go.
I was going to say, I was annoyed because I'm like, they're very undermanned.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't, like, that first quarter pissed me off so much because we had the wind and we had like a lot of inside 50s and just like,
Yeah.
it was a butcher job.
Yeah, exactly. Like a meat catalogue. Chris says, done my hamstring in preseason football training. I feel his pain. Oh, that sucks, Chris. Also, thanks for being a member. I don't know if we shouted you out, but I see you are now a member. So thank you, Chris.
Love that, Chris. I've never done a soft tissue injury.
No?
No. And I played football for quite a few years.
Yeah, I've had a pretty dodgy back. I've hurt my back playing footy.
Oh, okay.
And I'd have a lot of impact injuries. I did martial arts.
Yeah, well, I've had broken bones and stuff.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I've just never done a softie.
Yeah.
I've never been running and like, the muscle's gone.
Yeah. I remember once I did taekwondo as a kid, like under 14s, and I kicked this kid called Ryan Cumbers. I'll never forget. Shout out Ryan if you're a true footy fan.
Rhino.
We kicked at the same time, and our feet hit each other, and I was on crutches for a while.
Broken leg?
No, like I think it was bruising, but the scans cleared me of anything. But like 2 years later, I went to kick a footy, and I was like, oh my God, it's back. So whatever it was took years to heal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still there.
Yeah. Still get it a little bit.
Chronic.
As an adult, like kicking the footy, the same like pain comes back.
I'm glad we got that story out of you.
Yeah,
though.
no, it was
that was wonderful.
Yeah. Subscribe.
Riffs says, thoughts on Eagles not playing Bo Allen? If he's not close to the AFL side, should we just play him as an inside mid to work on his craft?
Yeah. I would like to see him play midfield, at least to rule him out. If it isn't going to be a midfielder, let's give him that opportunity now. Our medium defender stocks are actually really under fire at the moment. A lot of injuries. A lot of them expected to be back by round one, but specifically in the preseason game, it was curious to me that he wasn't given an opportunity to play in that. They played him in the waffle, and McQualter in the presser basically suggested there's a lot of competition for spots, and therefore he just wasn't selected, which I thought was a little bit harsh. There's probably other players that shouldn't have played instead of him.
He's like, I feel like players like that, and Elijah Sardis almost fits into the same category where you're like, I feel like he deserves to get a game, but the fact that he was a high pick, they almost try to protect him a little bit too much from the criticism that he's going to get because he's not reaching the potential or the expectation that the fans have on him. So even though he's best 23, they almost leave him out of the side to protect him.
You talking about Bo Allen?
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I got mixed up there.
It's in, I feel like Bo Allen has more expectation than the average pick 15 because of the pick 3 thing, which we're actually going to talk about in a second.
Oh, good.
But we might be able to segue into this. But
yeah,
it's a bit of a head scratcher because Elijah Sardis fits this a little bit for me as well at the Bombers, where he gets so much criticism when he's in the team for performing badly, but is he actually worse than the best 23 to be out of the team? I don't know.
Oh, look, on Bo, he had a very interrupted year last year. It was one of those things where he got like this really bad like chest infection for round one and then lost heaps of weight. Came back, he got sick again. He had another injury. Played 6 games.
So you sound like a GM of football coming out to do a press conference. Like, yeah, he had a really tough year, and like, we're just, we're protecting him.
Yeah, but I just mean to say that there weren't too many times where he was like available, fit, banging down the door, and he wasn't picked.
No,
this is the first time where I'm like, I'm surprised. Like Luca Grego was picked first.
Yeah,
for instance, that was a
similar
bit of a surprise.
position too.
Yeah,
you could play them,
but maybe. And I know Bo played waffle. Maybe it was also a minutes thing. They'd rather see Bo play full game than waffle. I don't know. It did sound like he just wasn't preferred. But I would like to see him a little bit further up the ground, like midfield or wing, because his ball use by foot probably means being a defender. He might get more exposed for that.
Yeah, and his contested game is pretty good. I've just seen a comment from Luke Duggan, 6458. Love the work, gents. Content is excellent. Dylan, I was that bloke that yelled out to you while you were walking through Royal Park with your partner about a month or two back. I remember that. Thank you, man.
Was he the guy that yelled out, "You suck"?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, that guy.
No, he was nice. He was nice.
That's nice. We also got Flag GFT. What's your views on the Roos this season? But before that, I think they said they were tuning in from the USA for the first time.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
So thank you so much.
I did see that. We love the international audience.
Yeah, we will talk about the Roos maybe in the preseason segment.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. But yeah, it does make us feel very decadent when we have international guests coming in. Okay, so I one thing I wanted to bring up with you and ask you, and I know this conversation sucks.
I love this topic.
I know this conversation
Every
sucks.
West Coast conversation sucks, Dylan.
You got away with it last year, though, because the pick 3 that you traded for Liam Baker and Matt Owies didn't play. He did a knee injury, but he's come back in the preseason and he looks bloody good. How are West Coast fans? What's the atmosphere like? The temperature?
Oh, there's been some conversation about Jagger Smith, his performance. I mean, I will say I was as critical as anyone of that trade at the time. So this is not necessarily me changing my opinion, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. One thing I'll add for some context as well, I do remember reading a pretty strong rumour. West Coast actually liked Harvey Langford. I don't know if that really changes it because Harvey Langford looks like a bloody good player anyway.
Oh, he does.
So either way, that pick 3 decision to trade down was
what's funny? My memory is that you guys were really hot on Sid Draper.
I think you potentially conflating with me really liking Sid Draper.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
I don't know because I liked Sid Draper.
I will just read out what the actual trade was. So you guys traded pick 3 for Liam Baker, Matt Owies, pick 12, and a future second round pick.
Was it a future second, was it?
Yeah.
Huh.
I believe so. That's the
I don't remember that part.
That's the information that I got off the internet.
Yes.
So
thank you, ChatGPT.
The criticism would be, yeah, exactly. The criticism would be it was a strong draft in 2024. That would have been like another top end player that you could have got into the team, into the midfield, that would have been like another year advanced, I suppose. Like now, if that player was Jagger Smith, he did a knee. But he always, to me, Jagger Smith always to me felt right for you guys because you had a lot of these lesser ball-winning midfielders that were damaging. They had a lot of athleticism, Harley Reid, Elijah Hewitt types. He was the accumulator for you and the more footy IQ player that you could have gone in there to kind of juxtapose.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubting that a player of that style is exactly what West Coast needed. So it gets a little messy when you consider this trade because West Coast did need Liam Baker.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But having said that, that doesn't mean they needed to do this trade. There could have been another alternative way to get the deal done. It gets a little messy because what actually happened in that trade period was Hawthorn did a deal with Carlton, meaning that we couldn't trade for Hawthorn's pick 14.
Yes.
With Tom Barras, that deal. So as a result, West Coast needed to trade with Carlton. 12-14 and Matt Owies was the best offer they could take. And don't get me wrong, it's ugly. But what it did also create was an opportunity to get a better deal out of Hawthorn. And we extracted their first, second and third, right? So there's an alternate universe where West Coast trade Tom Barras and get pick 14 and something else from Hawthorn. And then that means that they can hold on to pick 3. But doing that deal and getting a better deal out of Hawthorn got them Josh Lindsay. So all that being said, if you do the algebra, it's probably like you got to remove Liam Baker from this. And it's kind of like Bo Allen, Josh Lindsay, and Matt Owies. And probably plus...
you know what I think? I don't think you can have Matt Owies actually a part of this
You might
deal.
as well. Yeah. You might as well eliminate him.
You may as well eliminate him.
Yeah, agreed. So Josh Lindsay and Bo Allen.
Yeah.
For
Jagger
Smith. Yeah.
That doesn't feel good.
No. Well, it's probably more the position, but we also have gone pretty early on Bo Allen.
We have.
Yeah, we haven't given him a chance.
Yeah.
So, if he becomes a Jordan Dawson type. Who knows? But I'm not necessarily betting on that.
He is that type. I don't think he's as skilled as Jordan Dawson. He's definitely not as good a kick, but he's got some he's got some rapid speed. He's a really, really good athlete. I think he could definitely be really good in a certain role.
Yeah. So time will tell, and I do like the look of Josh Lindsay. But then, there's another question. It doesn't even end there because West Coast took Bo Allen over Murphy Reid. And that's not looking great either.
I wasn't even going to bring that up.
Yeah. Well, I think I sort of defended it last year by saying, like, we can't, we wouldn't expect Murphy to play this well at West Coast. He won the Rising Star, and there were go-home factor elements to that. But at the same time, Murphy Reid is going from strength to strength, and it's hard to argue that West Coast got that right.
Do you know what's funny with Murphy Reid? I think he's such a West Coast player. Like, he would look so good in the West Coast kit.
I can't picture it.
Really?
Oh, because he's at Fremantle.
Because he's at Fremantle. Yeah. Okay. I don't know, like just the long hair and the headband and stuff. But just growing up, I remember a lot of those types of players at West Coast, like that aesthetic. It just fits for me.
Yeah, right. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think we need a lot of things at West Coast right now, but someone to connect the mids and the forwards is exactly what we need as much as anything.
Beautiful, wouldn't it, for West Coast?
Yeah, you could probably make a long list of players. Oh, they'd be perfect for West Coast. Jagged Smith, Murphy Reid.
True.
Sam Cumming.
But you do have a lot of athletic, high upside type players on your list already. But it's like they don't, like you said, you don't have the dots in between to connect those players.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just talent at the moment, and that needs to be put together. So there needs to be a little bit more balance overall. I think another funny thing out of that story is, though, when you start to extrapolate it and look at the teams that were involved, Hawthorn probably during that trade also lost the pick that could have got Zach Merritt.
Right. Because it went to West Coast? Tom Barras?
Well, they traded their futures, didn't they?
No, they traded. Oh, sorry, they did. Yes, they did.
So they also lost what could have got them Zach Merritt. So it's an interesting conversation for them as well.
Yes. So, but didn't they? No, they got Carlton's picks back. They traded pick 14. They got Carlton's first.
Oh, they did too.
Yeah.
They did too.
I don't think that was.
They got an extra in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. No, I should look at those things before I speak.
No, that's all right. We
Lewis,
do a lot of that.
West Ham, West Coast.
Hey.
Thank you very much for the donation, mate. Love your work. Afternoon, boys. Oh, the pain of being a West Coast and West Ham fan at the moment. I actually haven't been following how West Ham are going, but I can imagine. Speaking of Bo Allen, hopefully he turns good. Otherwise, pick 3, Jagger Smith and Murphy Reid, we could have had added to the team. That we've just covered it.
Yeah, exactly.
We have just covered it. I probably should have read that one through as well.
West Ham are in the relegation zone. Sorry, Lewis.
For some reason, I thought West Ham might not have even been in the Premier League at the moment. But they are. They're in the...
They're 18th.
Yeah, I've had a really off year with soccer this year.
Yeah, it's probably because Liverpool are 5th.
Yeah, exactly. I lost interest really, really quickly. Riff says, I think Bo Allen's best position is a transition mid that can extract the ball. Thoughts?
Bo Allen's best position is a transition mid that can extract the ball. Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I guess the question mark with him is like, how good is he at stoppage in terms of his instincts and his ability to read the play? I think agility is not a problem.
No,
but it's just the IQ part that I'm not saying he doesn't have, but I don't know if he has. I kind of like the idea of him finding a position in the middle of the ground as that kind of, extractor type with genuine breakaway pace, because his ball use by foot might be a problem at halfback when we've already got Ruben Jinby, who is a very similar type of player.
A perfect world comparison is he's playing, like we said, he's playing like a Jordan Dawson, Ed Richards, Finn Callaghan type role. The problem is with that comparison, they're all elite ball users by foot.
Yeah.
And he's not.
No. The best hope is he becomes a crash and bash inside mid, I reckon.
Yeah.
He's got great running capacity. He's got some great traits, and plenty of players have made it in the AFL without being great kicks.
Totally.
Totally.
Particularly and I think that's where you actually need to be a little bit more inside if you're not that player.
Yeah.
Because you can't really be used as much as a transition link-up player as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I feel like we've done a lot of West Coast. We should probably move on.
We have done a lot of West Coast, but they are, I don't know, that loss kind of puts them...
right in the firing line. Hasn't even been round 1 yet. We haven't even played Gold Coast yet.
It's a worry. That was a worrying performance for me.
We'll get to it.
We are going to get into the games. Do you want to start with that game?
Not really.
Okay.
No, I reckon we move on to. I reckon we go in order. It gives the audience a little bit of a West Coast break.
Back to Wednesday then.
But I do also want to shout out the partner of, a sponsor of the channel, bets.com.au, which provide game previews and predictions that are statistically and analytically driven, completely free, and also let you know which Aussie bookmakers are providing the best odds on the selected markets. So, with that being said, should we talk about the first game of the preseason, or the second round of the preseason?
Carlton defeated Geelong by, I didn't write the score down.
15 points.
15 points. This was a really good performance, I thought, by Carlton. They have definitely showed up to the practice games. So I think you can kind of, like we've said, Geelong, they don't really do preseason games at all, do they? They're a home and away, they're a finals team. They've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
Than Carlton do. But the ball movement was different. Carlton wanted to move the ball off the line. That was probably something I've seen across all of the preseason games, to be honest. Like most teams have tried to shift the ball more than what they did last year. That long down the line is kind of, I don't know, it's going out of vogue more than it has done. Jagger Smith and Sam Walsh, the big talking points here for Carlton. I think if they can play the majority of the games with those two, they just look totally different inside. They've had the Crippses, they've had the Hewitts, the Cherras. This is a different dimension.
Absolutely. I did a bold prediction on that Sam Walsh should win the Carlton Best and Fairest this year. Maybe it's not that bold, but
yeah, I mean, he's pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I sort of predicted a return to form without really knowing how fit he was. So I knew that was a bit of a roll of the dice. But he looked good. He looked good, back to his best, and a little bit of headband action.
I like
as
that.
well. Yeah,
sometimes you just need to reinvent yourself.
Yeah,
like, look good, feel good.
Absolutely. He looks in good nick, and I think a big moval needer. Do you remember I said that last week?
Moval needer.
I tried to say needle mover 5 times,
Noodle.
And I said moval needer 5 times. And speaking of moval needers, Jagger Smith, as you said, I thought added a very different dynamic to that midfield as well.
He was so good.
37 possessions and a goal.
He's such a good loose ball player, man. Like the ball goes somewhere and everyone takes just that second to realise and he's there.
Yeah.
He's at the feet, scooping it up.
He's so tiny, but it doesn't seem to be a problem.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't really get caught.
Yeah. He's just like contorting his body, zigging and zagging.
Yeah.
He's just such a good mover. I mean, I think the only limitation of him, and it was the same in his draft year, like his circle of movement is like, it's small, if you know what I mean. Like he can't sort of, go on a driving run, break a tackle. So it's all with evasiveness. There's a bit of retreating, but he's such a good ball retention player.
Yeah.
And he's creative as well.
Yeah, totally. He's hit the scoreboard in both games as well, which is a nice little touch.
He didn't do as a junior.
Yeah, I didn't think so. That's true. So that's a nice start. It'd be interesting to see if he can continue to add that to his game. But it's just amazing to me, like, with what would you respect, like how he hasn't put on much size.
No.
Because if I'm not mistaken, he also finished school a year earlier.
He did.
So he was like a full-time athlete.
He was like a professional in his draft year.
Yeah, and like, don't get me wrong, it shows that he's prepared, but just the genetic potential of him physically, he'll never be a big guy, I presume.
No.
But as you said, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because you can't lay a glove on him.
Yeah.
That is the problem. But no, he is going to actually improve them. I think he's one of the few players that can come in and actually improve you straight away. So that's a big one.
I do regret picking Sam Cumming for Rising Star last week. Because I was like, Jagger's too obvious. And then you see that, and then Sam Cumming's got shoulder concerns.
Yeah, he does.
So
he could be out early. And it's just, it's hard with those decisions because you don't want to just play the straight bat for everything.
Exactly.
Geelong, Shannon Neal, possible injury to the knee that was picked up in the ruck, which caused a lot of a ruckus, but I think he's going to be okay.
Yes, I think he's still hoping to be available for opening round.
No Cameron, no Dangerfield. They played in the second half, actually. Sorry, Danger played in the second half. Cameron didn't play at all. I don't think there's much to talk about with Geelong in preseason. No. They're going to try to put it together. I think there's like a few of their older players. It'll be a conversation throughout the year if they can keep their form up.
Also coming off a late end of the season, being a grand final team.
Yeah.
Mind you, I thought Brisbane looked, a little bit more prepared in their games.
Yeah. I know people criticise us all the time. We either glaze Geelong too hard or we don't talk about them enough. I don't know, we're kind of doing that again. But like,
so true.
What can you really take from them? Like Ollie Dempsey played a bit of midfield again. I think he'll probably end up back on the wing, if I'm honest. But I think he can kind of go to another level this year. The only other thing to talk about from this game is Nick Newman played the VFL game and got suspended for 2 weeks.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's a blow for him. Absolutely. I also wanted to give a little shout out to Wade Dirksen, who signed with Carlton. Right, I think in the lead up to this game.
He did.
He had a strong performance as well, 18 disposals, 5 marks. But also, if you remember, Melbourne tried to get him from GWS when he was contracted, couldn't get it done. Then I think he trained with them when he was out of contract and they decided not to sign him. They did something where they turned him away at the last minute. He was suddenly without a home. So nice to see him at Carlton.
So he would have got the opportunity from the injury to Motlop. Would that have opened up for him? Because
I presume so.
Because Elijah Holland's also got.
That's true. Yeah.
There must have been a second one.
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Carlton could have easily just had an extra list spot left over.
Yep, absolutely. On Thursday, the Sydney Swans played GWS Battle of the Bridge. Does this result mean anything? Sydney have been really dynamic and strong in both of their preseason games. GWS were good last week, but they struggled to keep up with Sydney's quality in this one.
Totally. Yeah, no surprise in terms of the actual results. I'll note that GWS had 11 players missing from their final when they lost to Hawthorn last year.
I think the only thing there is you could say that they were missing for this game, but they're probably a lot of them will be missing for the season as well.
That's a good point. Yeah, they'll get a couple back, but yeah, that's true. I mean, other than that, Errol Goulden had an ankle scare. I think it was last year he broke his ankle in the same fixture, basically. Not the same opponent, but same fixture. And I think he's going to be okay.
From watching this game, my major talking point would be Brodie Grundy.
Mm-hmm.
He just looked fucking ridiculous in this game. He was so dominant. Mostly played on Riccardi, who seems to be favoured at the moment throughout the preseason games as the Giants' number 1 ruck. So,
no wonder he dominated.
Yeah.
With all due respect.
Yeah, with all due respect. Madden, so it was basically Madden and Riccardi.
Yeah.
Briggs, which is interesting because Briggs wasn't really playing there.
Mm-hmm. True.
But he was jumping. Like he was actually leaping and really taking advantage of these new rules, which is not, to be honest, it's not really how I saw Grundy at this stage of his career. I saw him as being one of those more wrestly type ruckmen.
True.
And being strong and being good at ground level. But he was jumping, he was following up. He just looked really, really dynamic. And you said a couple of weeks ago, you think he's going to be the All-Australian ruck. And I started watching that game and I'm like, he fucking could be.
Yeah. Well, it just depends on whether Max Gawn misses any games.
Yeah.
Because then the door opens right up. But he probably would have been the second ruck anyway, or close to in 2025. Did you see his little box to exploit the rule?
Oh, I did. That was beautiful, wasn't it? That wasn't in this game though. That was in the previous one, wasn't it? Mate,
I thought it was
it was. It was. Sorry, it was. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to tighten up on that.
Yeah.
Maybe they can't.
Just to explain to put it into words,
Yeah.
Grundy basically faked to go up for the jump, like he was going to go in, then stopped, and then the other ruck sort of toppled over, lost their balance, and went across the line, which gave a free kick to Grundy.
Yeah.
So that was really, really intelligent by him. Jai Sarong played as a winger.
I did see that. I thought that was not a massive surprise because he's not a true key back, but I did think he was recruited for that
Specifically
stopping
for
role.
that, yeah.
So that was an interesting development.
They have also got another tall as an SSP on the deadline day. I don't know who it is though.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I didn't recognise the name. Logan McDonald was okay. I still feel like he's a little bit at the crossroads. Curnow was good, but yeah, Sydney. I think Sydney are going to be good this year. They're going to be a big riser. I thought Clayton Oliver was just meh. Don't think his performance has been great. Obviously it's preseason. Does he have to play well in the preseason? Not really, but I haven't seen anything from him yet that says he's kind of, I don't know, back to that earlier Melbourne form. He looks like he did last year to me.
Yeah, fair. Early days. But yeah, he's going to need to live if GWS want to play finals this year.
Absolutely. Brizzy and the Gold Coast Suns also on Thursday.
Yep. I didn't catch a lot of this game, to be completely honest with you. It just seemed like the Lions actually pretty in form, relatively speaking.
They played well?
Yeah, their best players played well, which is a good sign.
Yeah. Zach Bailey played well.
Yeah, exactly. It sort of played out sort of how you'd expect a home and away sides, the game to go between these two sides.
There's also, I think you would put these two sides into that conversation of are they really going to care about a preseason game?
That's right.
Damien Hardwick notoriously doesn't care. They didn't care against the Saints last week.
Yeah.
And I just don't think they want to show anything in the preseason. Brisbane, again, probably don't care too much. They just want to roll into that. They've had a shortened preseason. They want to roll into the season.
And then, shorter preseason, and they're going into opening round as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, exactly.
not
But,
ideal.
I mean, all of their, like you said, all of their top players look like they're coming in pretty nicely. Bailey looked good. Neil had 31, I think, in this game. So he could be a surprise for people.
Is that a surprise?
Well, no, I mean, I think everyone just kind of assumes that and maybe that's just me, but you assume that he's just declining.
Sure.
There's these other young midfielders that are going to be hungry and they're going to jump ahead of him. Like maybe he just keeps his spot and just plays really well.
Yeah.
And wins another Brownlow.
Yeah.
like he could.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, it would be very interesting to see how that battle for midfield spots goes at Brisbane. I think McCluggage is currently out as well, which is a factor.
Oh, is he going to miss? I think
he's in
start?
Doubt. I think he's TBC on the injury list.
Okay.
He didn't play in this game.
Okay, I didn't think that was actually going to get to that stage.
Yeah.
Jed Walter did get suspended in this game and then posted games gone.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I knew he got suspended.
Yeah, I mean, I think the media made a bigger deal of that than what it actually was because I reckon he was just taking the piss. Game's gone. It was definitely a suspension.
Yeah.
It wasn't grey at all.
Yeah. No, that's funny.
Yeah. Will Powell played midfield, and I think he probably will get minutes, particularly with Rowell out for the beginning of the season.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
So yeah. But we'll go on to the next game. I think those two teams are just going to be awesome. So it was a bit of a Harlem Globetrotter style hit out. Melbourne versus Richmond. This game got delayed twice with lightning strikes and it eventually was cancelled before the game was even finished. But Melbourne were smacking them up a bit.
They love a delayed / cancelled game, Melbourne. There's been several around the years.
Has there?
Over the years.
I did not know that.
I attended one at Optus.
Oh, Brisbane. The Brisbane one, yeah.
Yeah.
Melbourne versus Brisbane.
Yeah, there's been multiple. Against West Coast in 2021 as well. With 8 minutes to go, they delayed the game for half an hour.
Yeah.
It was a Monday. I don't know if it was Monday night.
Nothing
I remember
worse than that when you're watching the game. Even a preseason game like that, it pissed me off so much that the game was delayed.
Totally. But they were touching him up, absolutely. Much as in the same way that they got the better of North last week.
Yeah.
Melbourne. So again, a little bit hard to tell. Like Richmond's got such a young team and had a young team in this game as well. But
it did remind me a little bit, like Richmond's performance reminded me, it wasn't as bad as West Coast's, but it was there was
no need for the drive by.
But there was no punish. So even when Richmond were good in the game, they just couldn't really put it on the scoreboard anyway. And then Melbourne or Port Adelaide, where you just give them half a chance and they just went bang.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Melbourne, as we said last week, Melbourne have these players still, which makes them hard to tip against.
Gorn was really good in this game. Smashed Nankervis, absolutely smashed him.
Yeah. Richmond, on the other hand, have a few injuries to young players, which is a little bit concerning. Is Tash Houghton out for
a long time?
Is it 4 months?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's basically a season-ending injury again.
Wow.
Yep.
That's brutal.
Sam Cumming, the shoulder, which is we don't know how that's going to go.
But he's awaiting scans on that.
And of course, Josh Smiley sits on the sideline.
Yeah. I thought there might have been one more. Let us know in the chat if I'm forgetting someone. But yeah, Sam Cumming and Tash Houghton in particular. We wanted to see Tash Houghton this year.
Yeah.
Would have been a chance for Rising Star if he's eligible. Not sure.
Tash Houghton? Yeah, no, he...
I can't remember if he's eligible.
Was he right on the precipice?
I reckon he was cuspy.
He was cuspy.
I
know Lawler was cuspy. Didn't Lawler play one more game?
Yeah, something like that.
I reckon Taj was eligible.
Okay.
I reckon he was.
He might have been, yeah.
Yeah, let us know, Richmond fans.
Yeah.
You'll definitely know.
JVR kicked 3 goals for Melbourne. They need him to have a good year.
He will.
Yeah.
He looks good.
Yeah.
I think he looks powerful. He looks like he stepped into that role. He's like, I'm the man now. I think the interesting one will be, because you'll have Mychek. He would have missed this game for concussion. He didn't play, did he?
Correct.
Mychek.
I reckon.
Jefferson's the other one. They kind of need something out of Jefferson.
Yeah. They've drafted 2 first-round picks and spent them on key forwards 2 years in a row there. You want to see some return on investment. But I think JVR is a bit more likely.
He's likely.
Is that what people call him? I've just called him JVR twice.
I call him that, but I don't think people do in speech. Okay. They just write it like that.
We'll start it.
Yeah. Van Rooyen. Western Bulldogs versus Hawthorn at Whitten Oval. This game was. And Western Bulldogs just smacked the Hawks up. I started to have, I know it's preseason, but I did start to have a few doubts about my Hawks in this one.
I wouldn't trust it.
No, I wouldn't.
I really don't. I wouldn't trust it.
But sometimes that you can't not see what you're seeing.
Yeah. But I think in this game in particular, Bulldogs' pressure and intensity was just a lot higher.
Yeah.
So that's the part I can't trust is Hawthorn going to be mauled like that? in the actual
And
season.
particularly when the Western Bulldogs were so much like that last year. Like when they played an easy kill, they'd take them down.
That's right. Yeah. They pressed Hawthorn really well, and I thought that enabled their defence to work better because there was so much indecision from Hawthorn throughout this game. They hemmed them into their back half.
They just couldn't kick through them at all.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's a positive sign. Again, it's a preseason game. Wait. If they do it at the Gabba in opening round, I'll be more impressed.
Yes.
But that's the sort of thing they need to do to take the pressure off their defence, the Bulldogs.
Do you think the Dogs getting the Lions in the opening round is a positive or a negative? Do you get what I'm saying by that?
If you can avoid a trip to the Gabba in general,
Sure.
If you can reframe that.
I mean,
Exactly.
like, say you only had to play the Lions once. I don't know if they have to play them twice, so I haven't checked that.
Oh, okay.
But like, if you only had to play them once, would you rather get them now or round 15?
Hard to say. So in their 2 premiership years, the first one they started really slowly. So you could make the theory, because they came off a grand final that year as well, that the teams that played deep will be slower starting to the year. But last year, Brisbane started well, I think.
Did they?
I reckon they started fairly well.
I feel like they've started. Oh yeah,
They did have a bad loss to Collingwood in like round 5, like Easter Thursday.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually,
But I don't think they started poorly.
They didn't start poorly, but they always have a bit of a. I mean, any premiership team these days has a run of form that's not ideal.
Yeah. No, you're right though. I think your odds of getting a poor Brisbane are better in opening round than they are in like round 20.
For some reason, I have this feeling that Brisbane are just going to be ruthless this year. Like it could be like a 20-win season. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe I'm over-egging that, but
Maybe.
it's an interesting one. Yeah, but you're probably right. I think that from a playing perspective, I thought Riley Sanders was really, really good in this game. But again, it's like, how is he? I don't see him getting into that midfield. He played a little bit across half back.
Yeah, I was going to say he didn't have any clearances in this game. So
Yeah, he played across half back and was a bit more of a distributor. So maybe, given that they've lost like a Lockie Carmichael, who I think they wanted to play in that role, Lockie Jakes has played a little bit there. They've got Selwood. Maybe they want to play Riley Sanders as a bit of a kicker. Back there in the Dane Zorko role.
He got concussed.
He got concussed by the football.
Yeah,
the
that's
football
right.
hit him in the face.
Yeah.
And Tim English was, again, ridiculous in this game.
Yeah?
Absolutely ridiculous. It's these preseason games are making me question the idea that the ruck rules aren't going to change much because those guys that are jumping are doing so much better.
True.
They're almost getting in he played on Meek, who is that classic prototype of the guy that's going to struggle with the rules. And it was almost like it was getting into his head.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. Yeah, because I'd be interested to see how they go against each other normally.
Yeah. I reckon Meek, I would usually back in Meek against English to dominate him physically.
Yeah.
But it looked like English was dominating him physically.
Yeah, wow. Gross. It had been a while since my last joke.
Oh, that felt so good.
I really lured you in there.
You really after that joke too, you just stared at me. I couldn't get away from the eye contact. That was beautiful.
Arthur Jones has had a really strong preseason actually for the Bulldogs. Bit of a forgotten talent.
Did he kick 3
at
in
least,
this game?
Yeah, and I think he kicked 3 last week,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
I think he did.
But
shout.
Newcomb suspended, Cam McKenzie I think also concussed. Not sure if that's 100% confirmed.
I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, he was too.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah, and they're playing opening round too.
Yeah, and it was like the last contest of the game.
Yeah. So a few unfortunate outs for the
Newcomb's a
Bulldogs
big
midfield.
one.
Yeah.
That's a big out.
Yeah. I mean, it works that they're playing GWS who also don't have any midfielders at the moment.
Yeah, that leaves them really thin though.
Yeah.
And that makes you think, imagine if Nuke got like a 8-week injury during the season. They're just not they're not gonna stand up.
That's a good point.
No Warple, no Newcomb.
Yeah. We did have a super chat we missed.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that Nick Watson looks amazing.
Yeah, he did. Took a great mark.
Yeah. He's just quick, lightning reflexes. He's going to be hard to stop this year.
He's a ripper.
Yep.
Grimsby, thank you so much for your super chat. Flynn Perez, very exciting for the Hawks. Newcomb looking at a week while Durham gets off. Absolute joke. Bugger Callum Toomey Dons fan, Druzy gets it. I don't understand the last line. Forgive me if that's just my brain lagging a little bit. I didn't see the Durham one.
What happened with Durham?
He said Durham got off, so I must have missed that one.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that. We are up to the Saints and Essendon game.
Oh, yeah.
This one was, St Kilda again, another team that have drastically taken the preseason to heart.
Yeah.
They're taking this really, really seriously. You had Sinclair had 40 touches. Windhager had 41 touches. They both played off halfback. Nasiah went crazy. I think he kicked 4 and had like 30 in this game. He had 17 at halftime. And they pretty much dispatched of Essendon. I don't think Essendon were bad in this game, but there probably is a quality gap there between the top end of player.
Think so. Yeah, particularly with a team having Naz.
He's just so good.
Yeah, there's talks about whether or not he's gone past Daicos. I think that was on Fireball. But
from 2 preseason games.
Yeah.
What are you basing that on?
It wasn't me. It was Ken Hinkley. And then I think Fireball, I didn't actually watch it yet, but they talked about it a little bit. No, it wouldn't be off the preseason games, but probably just more off Naz's like last 10 weeks.
I mean, Nasiah's top football is better than Daicos's.
Yeah,
100%.
I think the goal kicking element is that might have been Ken Hinkley's point actually. The fact that he's hitting the scoreboard, and
he kicks multiple goals all the time.
Yeah, exactly. You can put him in. I mean, it's kind of true of Daicos as well. You can put him anywhere.
I'd pick Naz if I was drafting right now. I'd pick Naz.
Yeah,
100%. They're both from that same draft too.
That's true.
2021.
Yeah.
So it was not Sam Darcy wasn't one. Horn Francis.
Yep, Horn Francis. Callahan
was 3.
Yeah.
Darcy was 2.
Yes.
Daicos was 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fits into that.
Yeah.
Naz was like
Rochelle 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was also. I
reckon it was Rochelle.
Yeah, was that a miss as well? That draft.
Yeah, Amos was 8, and Erasmus 10. Blanking who was 9.
Naz was 12, right?
I reckon he was 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sin was 12.
Yeah, that's right, because West Coast traded that pick back.
Yeah, and that was a big thing because Dwayne Russell, I think it was Dwayne Russell said that, sorry, Jared Healy, not Dwayne Russell. Jared Healy criticised St Kilda for picking up
Naz
over Josh Sin because Sin was a Sandringham Dragons player. He was local.
Yeah.
And they were like, why'd you take some kid from some SA? Skinny kid from the SA?
Yeah, true. Yeah. Ben Hobbs also 13.
Ooh.
So it dropped off a little bit after that.
It did drop off. But yeah, I mean, Saints nailed it.
Yep.
Absolutely nailed it. Philippou looked special in this game. Some of his like work around the stoppages. He did a few like pirouettes, spinny moves, got out of traffic, and he looks good, man. He looks good.
I was banking on the Saints taking a little while, but maybe
I know
that was only.
It's a practice game.
Still,
we've got to keep reminding ourselves it was a practice game.
But
so
the talent is undeniable.
Yeah, they've drafted so well. It's just the only argument that you could make, and the argument that we did make, is that it's just a couple of years away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. On the other hand, Essendon, I thought Blackiston looked pretty good, to be honest.
Blackiston's looked great in the preseason.
He's looked good every time I've seen him play, to be honest.
Yeah.
Is
he from WA? Sorry.
Yes.
He's from
I forget
WA.
which club, but he was drafted out mid-season from the Waffle, but I can't remember.
It's the one with I think it's like a shark on the...
East Fremantle? Oh, yeah, it was.
Like the blue and white team.
It was East Fremantle,
Yeah.
Of course. So a strong performance from him. Wilkie had a cork. Ryan Burns did an ankle. But other than that, I think the injury list was clear.
Yep.
Mitch Owens also 2 goals in 21.
That's nice.
Yeah, and a little player that I don't know why, but I sort of follow him.
He's a fun player to watch, isn't he?
Yeah.
And when he's playing really, really well. I think the only thing for Mitch Owens, he plays a tricky position because he's that like weird in-between size forward.
Yeah.
But I think he'll be important to them.
Yeah.
They need Max King though, right?
Yeah, they do.
I think that's going to be a big one. Dons I think it was Dyson Sharp probably had his best game. I thought he was really, really good. Good decision making, good contested work on show. And Hussein El Ashkar, I reckon he's firming for a round 1 debut.
Yeah, how many of those kids do you reckon play between Farrow, Sharp? Roby won't. But
Roby won't
Farrow,
because
Sharp,
of injury.
and
I
Hussein.
think they might all play.
Wow. Yeah.
With how it's going, like they played guys like Guelphy in the reserves. They played VFL. So I reckon Hussein, particularly if Kako's not fit.
Yeah, okay.
I think he'll definitely get it. If Kako is fit, they might go, we'll play like an older player.
Yeah.
Around him. But yeah, I think they're going to give them a pretty good go, those younger guys. Contagianis he might not start the season, but I reckon he'll get in.
Yeah, okay. Wow. Yeah. There's quite a lot of talent there at Essendon now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fremantle defeated Adelaide 84 plays 68. Josh Tracy kicked 5 goals. He has had an ominous preseason. Mind you, like last week against
scary.
West Coast, it was West Coast took their backline off and Harry Edwards went off. But still, I have been riding the Josh Tracy train all preseason, kicked another 5 goals in this game. Murphy Reid, 30 possessions. That's the most he's had at AFL level.
Yep.
Mason Cox also hit the 3-0 in hit-outs.
What's this midfield going to look like?
No reaction.
Sorry. Well, I was kind of off the back of that.
Nah,
Like,
it's
what is
fine.
this ruck and midfield?
Well, Darcy, I think, played waffle. So
Wow.
he's still... Well, I think that's coming back from injury. I don't think that was a selection thing.
But it could end up being. Like, I could see that. There's a world where Darcy doesn't make it and you play Cox and Jackson.
Yeah.
Can you play all three? Can you?
I think you can. It might depend on the
can.
opponent. Might depend on the opponent, to be honest. But with 23 players, you could probably do that now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to know. Because, I mean, it's not like Sean Darcy can't get 30 hit-outs.
You're of the opinion that Jackson plays ruck. You don't think he stays as a mid only?
Well, I think it's undoubtable that he will ruck a bit, but he'll be second ruck. I guess what this eliminates is if Darcy's out, Jackson has to number one ruck. That is no longer the case.
No, you've got a full on backup
Yeah,
now.
I think he's going to play a bit everywhere. I like him as a bit of that playing forward as well. He's not a bad forward for a ruck.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Creates chaos.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's not like a traditional goal scoring key forward, but a bit of a mismatch.
Yeah,
For any player trying to match up on him.
absolutely.
But he will play some midfield, I think, as well. So
Who's their first centre bounce of the season? I can't remember who Fremantle play, but who's lining up there? Like you'd say Sarong and Brayshaw.
they played Geelong at GMHBR, I reckon.
Who's the third?
Sarong Brayshaw.
Because Hayden Young played this
You
game.
probably start with Jackson.
In the mid.
Just to
as a mid?
diversify. Yeah, to
Yeah.
diversify those three. You could go Murphy.
You reckon
I'm
Murphy?
thinking, I mean, they're all pretty different. Brayshaw and Sarong aren't necessarily similar, but you probably want a little bit of pizzazz in there as the third.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, because
Sarong and Brayshaw both aren't fun midfielders.
no,
Like it's very vanilla.
you want a little razzle-dazzle in there.
You do want some razzle dazzle.
Yeah, I'd say they'd start with a punchier one. Yeah, I don't know if they put Hayden Young at that first centre bounce.
I'm of the opinion that Hayden Young, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but I'm of the opinion that Hayden Young should play halfback. I think.
Yeah.
Given their strengths and weaknesses over the entire field. We do have a super chat from Red Back Spider 72. Although practice match form is debatable, warning signs are there if you look hard enough.
Maybe. That wasn't great, was it? Sorry.
Yeah, well done.
Sorry, although practice match form is debatable. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the teams that played worse this preseason.
Hawthorn didn't play great.
Yeah, that's true. I feel pretty comfortable they're not going to look like that in the season.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
I
agree.
think we're all expecting West Coast to be dominant.
Exactly, yeah. And that 80-point loss that North had, we're going to turn that around.
Yeah.
Because it's preseason.
I mean, West Coast probably looked like the worst team in the preseason. I would say that that's not a huge deviation from what we're expecting,
Yeah.
but the intensity between different teams was off. Like Port Adelaide's pressure rating was like 230, for example.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
The Dogs were
and the
up
Dogs
about.
as well.
They were
Yeah.
so up and about for that game.
Yeah. So we'll wait and see when both sides are
We'll
going
wait
at it.
until opening round and round one, and then we'll make a reactionary comment about what we think after that.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the way we go.
Yeah.
Reef Luke says, already have similar guys at halfback, Clark and McVee.
He uses the ball better, Young.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He's got more composure
Mm-hmm.
when he comes out. And I think that's like the one area of growth. Like Freo was so good at that long down the line kick, contest, go again, put speed on the ball, get it inside forward 50. But when they had to move the ball out slowly, just to give something a little bit different to their game, that's where they struggled.
Mm.
And I think it is those kickers like a Luke Ryan, whether he gets back in the team, like he's not a very, what'd you say, like a nuanced kick. Like he doesn't come out and look for targets. He just kicks the shit out of it usually. So
yeah, that's true. But Joel Falconer says Young had 8 clearances in the first half. I
he
didn't
is.
realize that.
You'd want. I'm not saying that he's not good enough to be in the midfield.
Yeah,
he absolutely is. But it's a bit of a similar situation at the Crows, I reckon, with like Jordan Dawson. But the Crows have a worse midfield, so they sort of have to play him in the midfield. But you want him at halfback as well.
True. Yeah.
So you almost need two.
Yeah.
Little clone type situation.
Yeah, that's true.
Little Hayden Youngs just running around everywhere.
Just to add a few other dot points to the Adelaide Fremantle game.
Sure.
Fremantle did butcher them in inside 50s. It was plus 16. They were plus 10 in clearances. So kind of dominated this game across those stats. But Charlie Edwards has had a pretty promising preseason. I really liked him in his draft year. And like a lot of players that I like in their draft year, went quiet for a while.
He was a bolter too, wasn't he?
I think so.
Like he had a late run for the
Yeah,
Dragons.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But 5 clearances in this game and a chance for round 1.
I like that. Yeah, he's played some bulk mid minutes, and they need an extra midfielder. Luke Pedler looks good for the Crows.
Yeah.
I've mentioned him a few times, but just that like really, really dog at a bone pressure inside forward 50. He's killing that. And
I made a video about 10 young talents that are underrated like 3 years ago. And Pedler was on there. And then after that, he didn't do anything. It just made me look like such a dick.
He's definitely, I would call him more role player.
Sure.
I don't think he's a star.
No. He probably because he was a first round draft pick.
He was. He's like a pick 10. I think.
Probably forecast as that like powerful forward mid.
Yeah. You would have like best case scenario, you'd be thinking Christian Petrarca, but didn't quite turn out that way.
Yeah, but he's
good pressure player. Luke Ryan, as I said, he was dropped for the game. Erasmus and Jaya Miss, I thought they both looked pretty good in this game as players that been a little bit on the periphery.
Amos, they've flirted with a wing role, and I think
that's gone now because he was forward.
Yeah, you see a bit of that in preseason, don't you? Just
you
like new roles advertised, and then they don't follow
new
through.
Year, new me type of stuff. North Melbourne in Collingwood.
I do need to go to the bathroom. I'm so sorry.
This is so you.
This is not me all over.
Oh, we've got a lot of comments here to go through. Young had 8 clearances. Gillespie? Agree with Redback. A really bad preseason form says more than a couple of good wins. Yeah, it's a good point actually, isn't it? It's really good. Those really poor performances, you just wonder with a really bad performance, like what the team has been doing. And it's very unsettling for supporters when you follow a team, like particularly if it's like a West Coast or a North and they dish out like an 80 or 90 point loss. You've seen it so many times before, and it's hard to grapple with the fact that that's just a one-off. You think like we're going to come straight into the season and be a little bit like this. We are about to talk about North Melbourne and their game against Collingwood, which I think it had to be a lot better. Collingwood had a lot of players out. I'm not taking anything from the win, but I did say last week in the Melbourne game, there was like parts of our game from like a contest and clearance point of view that were actually pretty good. And those things still kind of, they stood up in this game. So there was some positives for sure. Western Bulldogs were playing for points towards their best and fairest. That's why their intensity was a lot more than the Hawks. That's a good point. I did actually hear that. I didn't know this before this preseason, that the Western Bulldogs actually give out best and fairest votes in preseason games. That's quite mad if you think about it. The games that are actually just to kind of warm into the season, to get a little bit of a run through and a benefit and try out some things that actually go to best and fairest points. It's a weird one, isn't it? Like, I wonder if any sport does that when it's not an actual proper game, that they give points to like awards and things like that. It's a strange one. Sasquatch says, I think Young's more assisting is a key reason they want him in the midfield as opposed to half back. From round 10 to the end of year 2024, Young was actually the number 1 ranked champion data player as a mid. Yeah, 100%. And they want him for that, I guess, that final ball. And we talked about it, like they're not good at moving the ball from D50, but like they go long and they're really good at winning that next contest. That's sort of around the ground contested possession, and they go really quickly. So if they can get the ball into Young's hands, he can pick a lock better than a Caleb Sarong or an Andy Brayshaw or someone like that.
Before we move into North Collingwood, I do want to just acknowledge the sideline chat. West Coast should have gone for Mason Cox. Big L from them. I'll be honest, I don't know if it's just because West Coast were good while Mason Cox was good at Collingwood, but I just didn't like him as a player. With all due respect to him as a person, I'm sure he's lovely. So on a silly personal vibe that I had, I didn't want to get him. However, it's hard to argue now that that wouldn't have been a good move. I don't know. I think Fremantle always had the inside running with his relationship with Longmuir. So, yeah, just hopefully he doesn't win a flag with them. That would just be all my chickens coming home to roost. Zelma Zam says, Freo now have 2 big cocks to mark down the lines. That's true. They have Brennan as well, as Dylan looks puzzled.
I was actually trying to work that out. Do you think the Mason Cox one for West Coast is because you had that rivalry and the 2018 grand final with Collingwood? There's actually a cultural element to that, as in we're not taking this guy that played for the Pies, who was a rivalry at that point.
I don't know. Sam Mitchell came to West Coast after beating us in a grand final. So I don't think
good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I was just trying to think of a reason why that didn't work, but
Yeah. No, I think Longmuir had an existing relationship with Mason Cox naturally, so that was always going to be more preferable to playing to West Coast for West Coast.
Sure.
Sunstripe says I'm finding ways to bring it back to West Coast. This whole show, I have only responded to questions, by the way.
They're in the news. They're in the
chat.
Cane Corns called them
believe
disgusting.
me, of all weeks, this was not the week I was excited to talk about West Coast. Much like the other 25 that are about to happen.
I love that. About dog shit West Coast.
Yeah, can't deny that part.
Oh, dear.
North versus Collingwood, Dylan. Nice to get on the winners list.
It was.
I don't know that feeling.
No. I mean, we're actually 1-1 if you actually take both of the games.
West Coast won. Okay, now I'm doing it. West Coast won their two preseason games last year, though. I'm just saying,
there we
one
go.
win season.
No, I think I don't know if you remember me saying amongst the various complaints that I made, but there was one good thing that North did at the beginning of this game, which is like they got on top in the clearances. They locked the ball inside forward 50, and they looked a little bit more capable at times at actually keeping that ball locked in with the Dovestons, and Constantine's been really good across the preseason as well.
Yeah.
That continued in this game. And it worried me early because I thought we did it again from the beginning of the first quarter, and Collingwood just kept scoring on us. We had the wind in Ballarat, which was heavy down one end, and they were able to transition the ball really easily. And I think they were up by 10 points or so at quarter time, and we had like a 5-goal breeze, and then they just put it on us in the second quarter, and the game was getting away from us. But we came back after that. Good performance, and I think we kept a higher intensity across the 4 quarters this game, because as you would know as a West Coast fan, it's not always that your team is just complete dog shit. Like you have passages of the game. You have passages of the game where you actually look as good as your opponent, but you can't sustain it.
Yeah,
you've got no endurance to play out the game in its entirety. You just have pockets of good play. This time we actually stayed in it. So we didn't kind of let it fall down. And I think there's like a slight style of how we want to play, which is locking the ball inside forward 50 and playing that forward half game. But the worries are still there at the same time. So all of the things that I was worried about with the back 6 being really, really weak, being transitioned against, I think we still have those problems. So nothing's changed there.
In terms of my read for this game, I'm going to, with one hand, slap you with a fish, and with the other, give you a rose. The outs for Collingwood in this game were enormous, right? So they had no Dacos, Pendlebury, Sidebottom, Elliott, Crisp, Moore, or Howe. So that's a lot of players missing. On the other hand, here's the rose. You should have killed them. Yeah, 12 goals, 18 to 14 goals, 5. The North, and I was in and out of this game, so I actually missed when Collingwood piled on those goals. But when I watched it, North were dominating, to be honest. So that is promising. And the individuals were quite, like what Doveston is adding to that forward line in terms of his dynamism and danger around goals, that is something that North Melbourne has craved. So that's a huge win. And he kicked the winning goal too.
He did. He was very, very good in this game. He was exactly what we needed. I think he was, now I'm going to bring this back to like an old draft thing as well, but like he would have been exactly what we wanted. We could have got Nick Watson in that 2023 draft, and that's like the exact kind of player that we need, that intensity in the front half of the ground.
Yeah, I love that.
But yeah, we still don't have, we can dominate a side, and we still don't have the quality to put them away.
Yeah.
I think that's going to keep continuing this season. And then at the same time, once we've been like piling on the pressure and not scoring, the other team can just cut through us.
Yeah, that's kind of true with a lot of the rebuilding sides at the moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I suppose you can look at the positives in that we are able to physically get on top of a team and have a stat sheet that looks like that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really help the wins and losses column at the moment.
Do you think Myers plays much?
I think he will.
Yeah.
I think given where Caleb Daniel is at this preseason, I think he's been just deplorable across the games that I've seen him in. That's including the match sim, like the internal match sim that we had as well. I think he probably has to play. And given Archer's out, you get someone that's a bit more defensive than a Caleb Daniel back there as well. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, Shane O just said Blamires round 1 gig, Dylan ? And how does Daniel continue to get a game? Just quietly, okay, we didn't read that comment in time, but that's pretty much exactly what you said.
Yeah, I think I think you've got to lock in, if they're available, you've got to lock in McKercher at half back, and you've got to lock in Hardiman as the other one, as the runners. And I think you want that, like you wanted Archer to be there as the guy that just locks down a dangerous small forward. And I think Blamires can probably do that. And I think he was fine on the ball, like just played within his limits. But Daniel goes for stuff that's really, really high end, and he can't. He just can't physically do it. So it's like he's playing 5 years ago in his current body, and it's not working.
Yeah. We have a comment from Rogie, member of the channel. It says, enjoyed the work of the BMW, Buller, McStay and West.
Oh, the big dogs.
What did you think of Collingwood's virtual B-side?
Oh, they were good.
Yeah.
They just the problem is with Collingwood, not the problem. It's good for them. when your team's playing them, they play the same way every time, so they can replace the players, and you don't have the quality of Nick Dacos, but they still do the same stuff. And somebody lifts. Like I thought, the
system is still kind of evident.
The system comes. McCreary. I'm trying to think of the guys. Like McCreary is really good in this game.
Yeah.
The forward line somehow still functions with those names. Like we're talking Buller, McStay, and West. That shouldn't really work.
No.
That's not really an AFL standard key position forward line.
No.
And it did. It nearly beat us. Like we actually should, like we probably should have lost the game in the end. Like we shouldn't have lost it, but we almost did. So yeah, no, they were really good. Maynard's back. Like their key position defense is completely pulled apart.
Yeah.
And we still weren't able to get on top of them. I think, like they said it in the commentary as well, and it's so true. Like Nick Larkey, he's great, and he can be a battering ram at times, but sometimes like he sneaks out the back and stuff like that, and he just doesn't go into the aerial contest, and we get outmarked, and the other team attacks us and stuff like that because he'll be trying to sneak out for a quick cheap goal. Got to stop that. And we've still got issues all over. Cooper Trembath was a big success from this game as well. Kicked some goals late, only came on after half time. I think he's someone that has to be in the round 1 side over a Jack Darling, even if that means, well, even if Jack Darling probably has done enough to put himself forward, I'd still play a Trembath.
How's the guy we call Bubble going? Have we seen much of Spargo this preseason?
I haven't seen him.
Has he played?
I don't know. I actually don't know. Like I couldn't tell you exactly if he has played. I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Probably not then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is actually a really good question. I forgot about him. I don't think he's moving the needle though.
No, he's not a moval needer.
A moval needer.
No.
Oh dear.
I like it. All right, so we'll move to West Coast Port Adelaide, which was a strange game, Dylan. We did kind of cover it off the top. We can maybe talk about Port a little bit more because we kind of focused on how bad West Coast were, but a strange flow of the game where I thought West Coast started well. A lot of the numbers were good, but it was one of the worst showcases of skill level anyone's seen.
Can I say something about West Coast?
Yeah.
Anytime anyone does anything spectacular for West Coast, it's a first gamer. Like it's a Dersma, it's a Cooper Duff Titler, it's a Josh Lindsay. Nothing. You can't really take anything else from the game.
Yeah, I mean in general, I would say like Waterman and Cripps still like produce some crazy stuff in season. Not very often, but yeah.
No, I mean like in this preseason.
Oh yeah,
like
that's
coming
true.
into the season.
Yeah. That makes me feel great.
Is it fair to say that a player like Tom McCarthy, when you see him go into the midfield, you maybe do see a bit of like the limitations of him?
Yeah, maybe, but he was also, playing his second game of midfield against Rosie and Butters, who played at full intensity. Like the power were switched on for this game. They look pretty ready for round 1, to be honest.
Because they're a team that needs to play well to bring a little bit of positivity to the club. Because everyone's been, down treading them. Is that a phrase?
Trotting?
They're
downtrodden?
They're a downtrodden club right now. I mean, a poor season last year, and they're trying to build back belief.
Yeah.
I think they're a team that has to do that, but so are you.
Yes. Yes, Dylan. I thought we tried hard. It was just that we couldn't cope with a pressure rating of like 230. If that happens in the season, that's pretty wild, to be honest.
Good,
so I actually think that it's a good test for West Coast to have gone through that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they showed that they failed.
This is AFL.
Yeah, but at the same time, that was actually a pretty good hit out from experience. If we're looking ultra positive there, contested ball and stuff like that, West Coast trended pretty well in this game. But opened themselves up with terrible kicking it, and Port Adelaide took their opportunities really well. They got some really talented players, and Butters played like it was a grand final. 36 possessions, 2 goals. Georgiades kicked 6, was taking the piss. They didn't miss all day. We gave them some pretty easy looks.
Georgiades looked really good.
Yeah, they were very damaging from turnover. Again, it's hard to assess exactly how good Port were because West Coast are terrible at defending transition.
Yeah.
But they didn't look like a side that will be languishing.
I'm going way off topic here, but did you find that this preseason, and maybe this is the competitiveness of preseason, there just seemed to be so many contested marks? Like, it just looked really easy for players to mark the ball inside 50 and stuff. And I have no idea if stats back me up on that. I haven't checked that.
Yeah.
Anyway, move on.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think Port took a lot in this game. Our forwards didn't create enough aerial contests as well. You know, on the odd occasion that we'd send the... Actually, no, we won the inside 50 count, so it wasn't that. But a lot of the times we'd sort of bomb to a contest and only Port players would fly. That was definitely a trend. But yeah, overall, injury-wise, I'm trying to think. Harry Edwards got concussed, which is not ideal. I think other than that, it was okay. Oh, Jacob Newton. Jacob Newton looks pretty good.
He looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, impressive.
Yeah.
Does some mercurial things.
Yeah, for a guy who's not tall, he does a lot of things. His best work in the air, which is crazy.
Yeah, which is not really that. I heard you say that in your video. That's not really my impression of him as a younger player. He was always more of a ground level guy.
Yeah, okay.
And pretty intuitive around goal. But it's interesting. He seems to have that.
Well, that's all I've seen of him is dominating. Doing things you shouldn't expect to see from a guy that high in the air and a good set shot game. So
talk to me about Jobe Shanahan because you weren't a massive. You sent me a text. A little concerned.
Being exposed here.
Oh,
actually,
sorry, no, I didn't.
I said the same thing in my review, so it's fine. I think that Jobe looks really good in the air. A little bit of similarities to Newton in the sense that everything I've seen him do is from a meek and lard lead and mark scenario. Yeah. And he's a great set shot, although he had a dirty day in front of goal in this game. I think he needs to work on making more of an impact at ground level before we really start elevating him as a top elite talent. But I do think he's a very good prospect. Now I'm starting to get a good feel of what his strengths and weaknesses are.
I agree with you. He likes it in a particular hit zone, and if he's not getting it that way, there can be a lack of impact. And you guys need multi-dimensional players in that sense. You're not going to get perfect ball use going inside 50 all the time.
Yeah.
Tyler Young
struggled this preseason, but I won't go too early. I think he played some good footy for Richmond, so I'm just going to put that down to playing in a backline that was basically a backup, like a reserves backline.
No Jimby's a big one.
No Jimby, no Starcevic, no Hoff, no Duggan. So just in terms of leadership back there wasn't a lot of organisation. There was a lot of Lindsay, Marek, Grego. So, that's some upside there. And Harry Edwards got injured in the first quarter.
Yep.
So that's like 5 first-choice defenders gone. So I guess he'll need some time to gel. I think he's capable of being better.
I thought Josh Lindsay was good at times in this game. But again, I think there's you see sometimes where he gets a little bit with the speed of AFL football where the contact comes onto him a little bit quicker than he expects it and he can't get out of it.
Sure.
And that's that, when we talked about him in his draft year, he doesn't have that athleticism to be able to drive and take it on.
No.
So he can get caught on the ball a bit.
Absolutely. But he's very smart. He's smart. He gets out of trouble not through athleticism but through IQ. And all that says to me is he's got to play round one and just play every game he's fit for because I think that'll improve.
You need
the
experience.
Skills. Yeah, he won't improve on that in the waffle. So
absolutely.
Cool.
That is the games.
Yeah.
That is the pre-season. And from here, we have opening round to look forward to. And I am now, I'm excited for that feeling where it's it's going to be Thursday night. It's going to be an actual game.
Where will we be Thursday night?
I don't know.
We'll be here.
No, I know.
Oh, I was going to say, surely.
I was thinking about some cool way of lining you up for that.
We're going to a quiz
Where
night.
will we be?
We will be right here Thursday night for Sydney versus Carlton. We're going to do our first watch along of the season. And hoping to have a guest, but we will.
We're 95% sure.
Yeah. We've got some exciting things. Multiple guests lined up for different things.
Yep.
So stay tuned. Also, I do want to promote that we will be on sideline for that game. We're on sideline right now as well. So I just want to point that out because I feel like the best elements of sideline being the virtually no delay makes the watch along experience even better. So I'm really excited to see how that looks. So make sure you're following along sideline. If you want to check it out, it's pinned in the comments of this right now. You can listen to what we're saying right now.
You can shoot, you can use your cheers and things like that to send in voice notes and stuff that we'll be able to hear in real time.
Absolutely.
We'll have the headphones on and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I don't promote this enough. We also upload all of our clips as audio files as well to Spotify, your podcast apps as well. So some people like to listen along to that. If you want, we can upload the entire live show as well. Someone did ask for that once. I thought it was bizarre. Awesome. I will do.
I feel like that'd be cool though, like where you can just go, you can go and do stuff in your day and just put it on and you don't have to worry about it ending.
Yeah.
Because it never ends.
Yeah. It's like we're in the room with you, Dylan.
Exactly. Exactly.
Further to that, Game Day Squad. Let's talk.
Gammy.
For those unaware, we're in a partnership with Game Day Squad. You probably are aware if you watch this show regularly. So it is a fantasy platform that is a keeper league, a dynasty league, which means whoever you recruit via footy cards will be yours to keep forever until you discard them. We ran a competition this week, Dylan, for those who could guess the highest scorer in Game Day Squad for the Brisbane versus Gold Coast game. If anyone guessed it correctly, you would get the card of the player that you guessed. We didn't have a winner this week.
Oh.
Yeah, the highest winner was Charlie
You
Cameron.
were building that up. I was like,
I know.
Did you not tell me?
No, the highest scorer was Charlie Cameron with 127. So that was a hard one to pick. But again, I think that demonstrates what's cool about this league is forwards can do well.
Yeah.
And if you kick some goals, you'll score high. Because, I mean, in fantasy, how often would Charlie Cameron get the most fantasy points? I will check, actually, who got the most fantasy
I would
points.
say very, very rarely.
Yeah.
I mean, occasionally if somebody kicked like a huge... But nobody kicks like 10 goals anymore. Back in like the early 2000s, you'd have like Jonathan Brown kicks 10.
Nick Larkey's kicked 9 at least once, maybe multiple times.
Yeah, out the back.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Still counts. I'm just looking up.
It would have been...
Lockie Neal.
It would have been Nasiah or Windhager or Sinclair.
So Charlie Cameron actually had the second.
Did he?
But it was only 104. In game day, it was 127.
Did Sinclair and Windhager and that not get...
Oh, no, we're just talking. It was just the Brisbane Gold Coast game.
Ah,
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah, Dylan pays attention.
Yes, missed that part.
On that topic, I want to discuss with you before, actually, I will point out that those who want to take part in the Game Day Squad League, go to gamedaysquad.com. The link should be in the description of every video. And if you make your team, the invite code is there to join the True Footy League. You also get, upon registration, if you use the code TRUE26, you will get extra player packs to build out your team, which is good fun. I think it's multiple packs of 9 players, so that's awesome. And you have to verify your account. It's really important because in this competition, there's a lot of prizes in Game Day Squad in general, so you need to verify your account. But I wanted to ask you, Dylan, who do you think from last year's draft, in terms of dynasty pickup, so not for season 2026, for the rest of their careers, who do you think will project as the best Game Day Squad scorers?
So this is always difficult because it's the dynasty conversation. So it's not saying who's going to be the best rookie for this season.
Correct.
So you are assuming that at some point they're going to get into the team and they're going to play their ideal position. A lot of things have to go well for them. I would say, though, the player that currently stands to have the best fantasy type game is Dan Annable. He's a bit of a cross between a Caleb Sarong and a Josh Dunkley. He's got good size, physicality. He can play on the inside. He can spread really well and get the ball on the outside. The one weakness of him and why he wasn't like right up the top end of the draft, like in the top few picks, is probably the ball use.
Yep.
But fantasy don't care about ball use.
No, that's true. Supercoach does, I think, but not Game Day Squad. So yeah, that's good.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Dan Annable's probably your first one off the rank.
He can mark. He can win contested possession. He can win
sing,
clearance.
he can dance.
He can play.
Yeah, I also think Zeke Euland.
Yeah,
is a good one.
He was 2 for me.
He's sort of a mix between Bodie Euland and a centaur.
I thought you were being so serious.
I know,
there.
that's how I get you.
Yeah, you do.
No, I think Zeke Euland will, in time, be that sort of player. I think he'll be one of the best players in this draft. I will throw in a couple of Eagles.
Oh,
because I don't do that enough. Josh Lindsay.
what, right up the top end?
Oh, I didn't actually do this in a particular order.
Oh, I did.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't you go then?
Okay, sorry.
I didn't write down mine in order.
I next had Jacob Farrow.
Yeah, I like that one.
I think he's going to be really good as a
High
fantasy.
volume.
Yeah, high
Yeah.
volume. I think he's going to go into the midfield. He's got good size. And I reckon he is tracking as a player from what I've seen in the preseason. He's like that. He's a bit of a Richards, a bit of a Callahan type. Not quite as zippy and pacey, but that type.
Yeah.
Hayden Young's probably a better one.
Yeah, I think that's a good comparison. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he becomes a midfielder, but even if he doesn't, we know those distributor halfbacks do score well in fantasy. Who else you got?
Got Sammy Grill.
Yep, I like that. Will he be high volume?
I think he will. I think he's going to go into the midfield.
He's got the running capacity too.
Oh, like he's such. Did you see that clip of him the other day where he got the ball at halfback, went for like a marauding run, handball chain, had a shitty bounce, and then re-picked up the ball, and he's just like the change of direction and then acceleration quickly from there. Like there was a point where he sensed in that chain that he was going to get on the end of another handball receive, and he just like exploded.
His movement is insane.
It's crazy, and he's so competitive as well. So he doesn't just want the ball; he wants to tackle, he wants to get in their face, press. So I think he's got all the attributes to be a good fantasy player.
Yeah,
For
I like
sure.
that. Rogue Wright says Swaddling is the type to get points if he ends up being AFL quality. Yeah, it's a good point actually, because he is such a high volume player. I think he had like multiple games of 40
He did.
in the Waffle Colts.
He did. Yeah, him and Farrow absolutely waxed back there.
Yeah.
I suppose for those guys, like they're good smoky picks, but you're not as sure that the quality is going to come through, and like it's going to be difficult for him, at least early, to get into that midfield mix.
Yes. Yeah, that's
For
right.
sure.
Yeah.
Others I'd have up there, I won't go on about them too long, but I would have Dersma, definitely, from a dynasty point of view. I don't think he's going to score as well early,
No.
but you still want to get your hands on him.
He takes marks, I think, as a defender as well. I think that's where he'd accumulate more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think, though, I think the best player comparison for Willem Dersma is like a Nasiah. Like he's that type of player. So you can see what he's doing. I think that's the best case scenario for a Dersma.
Yeah.
Sammy Cumming, Dyson Sharp, Dill Patterson. I think all of those guys could score really well.
See, I think Josh Lindsay is closer to the top than your tone suggested.
Okay.
I think we're just talking about a guy who can rack up the footy and kick more than he handballs.
Yeah.
I think in terms of volume, he's not that far behind, say, a Jacob Farrow.
No.
Just in terms of scoring.
Probably the only thing that I would put Farrow ahead is because he probably will play midfield in the long term. I don't think Josh Lindsay will.
No.
I think he'll stay at halfback, and there won't be as much access to. The only reason there won't be as much access to points for Lindsay, you've got to do it a lot more through uncontested marking, which is not always there for you. Whereas like tackles and stuff like that are always
that's
an
true.
option for you.
Fair enough.
Access to them. Sorry.
Cooper Duff Tytler, though, I think yes.
Yeah.
I think he will score well because he can play as a high possession ruck.
This is the only reason I had him down though, because I was like, what if he just stays as a forward?
Forwards score well in game day squad.
They do.
Yeah, but yeah, he'd have to be a high volume forward. But I think the player he is, he's going to also accumulate possession.
Yes.
No matter where he plays.
Yeah.
Unless he's playing deep, but I don't think that's how you play.
I think it's likely that they will play him on ball and stuff like that at times.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, 100%. And Reef Luke says he copped gold Cooper Duff Tytler today. That's pretty sick.
Oh, that's nice.
Nicely done.
That's nice.
Also, I think Lewis just became a member as well. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you for joining the True Footy family.
We love it.
Yeah.
We love it. A bit of a smoky. I think you had him as well. Lockie Carmichael to the Dogs.
Again, running half back type.
Running half back.
Yeah.
I just reckon there's a role there for him. I think I had him in my fantasy lists as like a bit more of a instant impact guy. Got injured, so now it's got to be a dynasty play. But I think like just a really smart player, accumulates really well. Could be a bit of a still side bottom type.
Yeah, wow.
I
praise. I did have Lockie Carmichael as well. So our producer has just brought up, we had 2 new memberships. Lewis, thank you so much. And Sharpie1991. Thank you, Sharpie. Really appreciate all of you jumping on board and supporting the channel. Thank you so much.
Love it, guys. Sunstripe11 says Farrow is cool-headed and calm. Looks like he's in slow motion. Got Pendlebury and Dawson traits. Will be a gun. Yeah, I agree with those comparisons. Yeah, he actually does. Like compared to those other taller type midfielders with left feet.
As many do.
Like I mentioned Hayden Young, Jordan Dawson, Ed Richards, Finn Callahan. He's got a bit of like he's not as quick as a lot of those guys. So he's got more of a Pendlebury like step on him. He often sells candy and kind of just moves in and out. A bit different to those other guys.
I like that. Hey, Rogue Wright says he gifted a membership before. Oh, thank you, Rogie. Really appreciate you.
Isn't Rogie just the best?
He is. They're all the best.
He really is. Should we move on to the next topic?
I just think something's about to pop up.
Oh.
But yes, we should. Oh, True Footy gifted 5 memberships. Rick Sara, Rhoda Wash, Steedy Official, Elizabeth, and Ozates have just received free memberships.
Hey.
Thank you, guys. Even though it was me who did it. That just randomly generated five names for people in the chat right now. So thank you so much for being part of it. And
what a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I love it. We must have close to 20 members now.
I love that.
Thank you so much, guys.
Jump on board, guys.
Just so people are aware, I didn't just like take money from anyone. Like you have been gifted that for free.
Yeah.
I didn't just like charge your bank accounts. That needs to be really.
It's like, hey,
yeah,
sign up for this.
Just direct debited. We have a super chat from Kareem Sheikh. Thank you so much. I think Harry Dean could score well as well. Yes, Harry Dean actually probably could. He's a bit of a rebounding key defender. So if he takes intercept marks and he kicks the ball, that makes sense. I like that. That's a good shout for a player that didn't come to mind. Pick 3 in the end, wasn't he?
Who was that?
Harry Dean as a game day squad player.
Yeah, tricky one being that he could. It depends how much he becomes like an interceptor, that diffuser type and kicks the ball, because he could become more of a lockdown.
Yeah.
So it's tricky.
Yeah, that's right.
But I like that. We do have a few topics to get through here.
We do.
Should we jump in?
We absolutely should.
Let's do it. So the first one is the new recruits, the best of the new recruits. We are going to do this as a tier list, Jesse. That is, we're going to put the players that have moved clubs. Just to define this properly, we're only doing players that have moved from club to club. We're not doing recruits as far as from the draft or anything like that.
Yep.
And those young guys coming through SSPs. Just kind of not just the big dogs, some of the small dogs as well. But we're going to put them into exactly. The Dobermans, they're big dogs, aren't they?
Yeah.
What shit am I talking here? So new recruits in a tier list, in a ranking. The categories that we have are going to pop up on screen for me very shortly, and then I'm going to go through them.
That's hot.
That's what I'm waiting for here.
Yeah.
But tier list time. Who do you think, and start letting us know in the comments, who you think is going to be the best recruit of 2026? There's some names. There's Christian Petrarca. There's Charlie Curnow. There's TDK, Sam Flanders, Clayton Oliver. There's a host of names. And there's also some more of those like Rolly type players that have gone to clubs. We're going to put them into beautiful, beautiful categories.
Baker, he's a Rolly type player.
Liam Baker.
Yeah, Rolls. Bakery.
You are such a dickhead.
I'm sorry.
Here we go. Here we go.
Got low blood sugar.
So, probably all that water you're drinking.
Yeah.
Club changing is the top category. You're going to transcend football for your club.
I like
Change the fortunes of the club.
That's what we need.
You do need that. You massively need that. We'll see if some of your recruits are going to get that. Good, but not great. So they're probably going to improve you on the field, but you're not really going to go to that top level. You're not going to be like a top 3 or 4 player at the club. You've got role player, you got depth, and you got not sure about this one if you think it's going to be a stinker and it's not going to work. So be bold.
Okay.
Be bold, my friend. Now we are starting here. The first player is CJ, who moved from Hawthorn to Melbourne. Where are you feeling, CJ? How good can he be?
I've put him somewhere between depth and role player. Probably role player. I think he'll play. So that's how we distinguish those categories. I think depth is they're coming in to compete for a spot in the team, but not necessarily in it. Whereas I think Giath will play.
I think he's at least role player. I think that's the floor.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. I don't see a scenario where.
And just to distinguish that for the listeners here, that we're saying that depth would be like you may not even get into the.
Yeah.
You're really fighting on the cusp. I'd say role player is there's a defined role for you to step into, and you're probably still going to improve the team. You coming in there, right?
Yeah, that's
true. I think he fits that.
Yeah, I think the intention is for him to play. So the question is he in role player or is he good but not great? Because you said that was his flaw. Were you leaning towards that one?
I was thinking about. I wanted to explore it.
Okay, talk to me.
Well, I just think he's a little bit. I mean, he's a tough one because I still think he makes high-profile errors at times, but he can. I think there's a part that he could be not club-changing for the Melbourne Demons, but he could go to that half-back role that is now basically vacant because of Caleb Windsor going into the midfield, and he could be really, really important for them as a ball mover off half-back. He's got great athleticism. He's not afraid to take the game on, and I think he will be big for them. He's certainly not going to go into like the top 3 players at Melbourne or anything like that.
No.
I think your first kind of where you swung first was role player, right?
Yeah.
I would probably agree.
I think that's about right too.
I'm not going to make the case for good but not great.
Okay, fair. And it'll become clearer, and we can move players around, I suppose, if we realise it's starting to take shape the wrong way.
We need to see the landscape a little bit. So CJ goes into role player producer. How are we looking there? Yeah, there we go. Role player. Next one, Jesse.
Oscar Allen. I can't remember where he came from, but he's joined the Brisbane Lions, and a little bit of an inauspicious start. I think he's concussed currently, but a player with, in my opinion, a bucket full of talent, and we just haven't seen him capture that at AFL level. I think his body's been a problem. I think mentally last year there was a lot going on as well with what happened publicly. But I think a fresh start for the Brisbane Lions will be great, and we know that he's going to get great service. Is he the missing piece? Where exactly would you put him? For me, I'm going to say his floor is good but not great.
Wow.
But I also think that's his ceiling. So that's my answer. Well, I don't know about role player. I don't know if role player.
No, he's not. I reckon there's 2 categories. I think your intuition there was great. I reckon it's good but not great, or you're looking at not sure about this one because of the fact that he's walking into a 2-time premiership team here. Mm-hmm. Do you really want to upset the apple cart? Is there a story there that you could say they've got Ty Gallup, they've got Logan Morris? Did you actually need to bring him in and upset the apple cart?
Yeah, I think it's a stretch to criticise it just yet. My instincts are that he will be a very good player for the Brisbane Lions. I think they'll get the best out of him.
Then you're definitely not sure about this one.
He was also a free agent, and while I think he's a 5-year deal on 900. That's not breaking the bank either.
Yeah, and I'm not criticising that part of it, but there's still a chance it doesn't work.
Yeah, but they didn't, cough up any draft picks or anything like that. So for me, I don't think there's a lot of risk, relatively speaking, compared to some of those other bigger deals. So I think good but not great.
Good but not great.
Yeah.
That feels about right.
I don't think a club like Brisbane could recruit a player who's club changing. They've already won 2 premierships.
It's almost impossible, isn't it?
Yeah.
There would be a very small group of players that you could put in that category. Like they would have to get a Zach Butters.
Yeah, or Naz or something like that.
Yeah, Naz. Then you'd have to say that.
That's true.
Calamar Chi left the Brisbane Lions after winning 2 flags, goes to the Adelaide Crows in auspicious circumstances. I don't even know what that means.
I can tell.
Does that mean?
It's because I just said it, so it's obviously lingered in your brain.
I wanted to bring it out.
What did I say? I said inauspicious, which I think it means just like, I think it just means like a little bit underwhelming. And then you inverted it and you're like, auspicious circumstances.
Yeah, so controversial circumstances given the fact that he walked.
Yeah.
Is what I was going with there.
Yeah.
Where does he fall in this Adelaide team? He's definitely not going to change clubs.
No, not again. Yeah, no, I don't think he's a club changer. So for me,
I think this one's easy.
Yeah, I think it's good but not great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, do you think he's a role player?
I think he's a role player.
I think he's significantly better than someone like a Jath, but we only have 1 player in there, so there's not a big body of data there. I do think he's a little bit underrated, but then again, like maybe you rip a role player out of the Brisbane Lions, and he probably was that at the Brisbane Lions. You rip him out, he might not look as good.
And then they're just run of the mill.
Yeah, he's not going to be the best forward at Adelaide. So
no,
you're probably right. It probably is a role player.
I think it has to be.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to elevate them enough.
No,
to make him good but not great.
No. I suppose yeah.
Good but not great sounds underwhelming too, but it's actually really.
It does sound a little negative.
It does, but it's not meant to because it's right underneath being someone that can like fully change your fortunes.
Sure.
So Archie goes, I think, into role player for the time being.
Okay.
I sort of get what you mean. I mean, he's obviously a lot more accomplished than CJ.
Yeah.
But in a way, I almost feel like maybe CJ is like for that club at this time, he's actually like a better trade, like a better fit.
You reckon? Archie with premiership experience, proven form in finals. Going to the Adelaide Crows, who are just coming off straight sets, ready to pounce on a premiership.
I don't know if they specifically need his position though.
Nah, probably not.
That's probably more.
No, it was a strange one. Well, not a strange one, but like, yeah, you're right. It didn't strengthen a perceived weakness. That's right.
Charlie Curnow.
I think it's got to go club changing, especially when you consider that the Sydney Swans have been crying out for a key forward of A-grade quality, and Charlie Curnow has had a decorated career and looking ominous this preseason. So for me, I think when you, by virtue of the fact he elevates them to being one of the flag favourites, this is the first club changing.
I couldn't agree more. And when this one first came out as a deal, it's so rare to get a trade like this where a player wants to leave their club that's such a high-profile player. They want to go to a club that specifically needs them, because you see so many times a really good player wants to leave, and of course every club needs a good player, but they actually needed this player in this position. So it's perfect.
Yeah.
Has to be club changing.
I like it.
Number 1. Now this one's a little bit more
This is nuanced.
auspicious.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Oh dear. So we're talking about Jamari Ugle-Hagan.
Yeah.
So I don't think the talent is up for debate. We do know that he's carrying some baggage, or at least we presume he is. Don't know exactly where his personal life sits, but that was a big talking point over the last year or two even. So for him, for the Suns, the potential downside is they absorb a player with some off-field issues. I do think it helps that he's moved interstate and maybe away from some influences.
Sure.
And that's about as much as I'll say about his personal life, but that is the context. And we do know they're already boasting a lot of talent, which I think is also relevant, right? Like they're already a good team, so how much is he club changing? Not that I was considering putting him there, but I'm just saying the quality of the team.
I think it has to be explored.
Yeah, fair. But I guess my only point there is that the existing quality of the team has to be factored in. If he goes to West Coast or Richmond, maybe that's club change, or North Melbourne even. Then he'd probably in a higher category. But when we're already expecting the Gold Coast Suns to be good, maybe less so.
It's funny because he sort of has to, a player like Jamari Ugle-Hagan with the off season that he had, the off field stuff, that he had, he sort of has to go to a strong club. But then at the same time, you're like, for a team that is up the top of the ladder or someone that's building like the Gold Coast Suns, it also feels like a big risk for them to absorb. Someone like a North Melbourne or a West Coast probably needs him more, but I don't know if they could harness him either.
Yeah.
So he sort of has to go to a Gold Coast Suns. But then, like you said, my mind goes to, you've got Jed Walter, who's looking really good as a young key position player, Ethan Reid. One of them now behind Ben King probably can't play.
Yeah.
And how much does that hurt their development? And would you actually be better off to not have this problem? That's probably where I look at it from.
I guess time will tell. I don't think it would be too hard to insulate the rest of the club from maybe one bad influence. And that's if he is one. I don't want to put that out there too much, but we're talking in the hypothetical scenario here.
There's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
So it's whatever you say about whether he actually is a bad influence, there's more attention on it.
Yeah.
And there's going to be attention on this. Like if he performs poorly at the beginning of the season, this will be a negative influence for the Gold Coast Suns.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know how much downside there really is though. So for me, I'm not really thinking the red category.
Okay.
Not sure about this one. Is it? What are you leaning toward?
I was leaning not sure about this one.
Yeah, okay. I feel like...
So what is it if it's not that?
That's a good player. Good question, sorry. That's a good player. Oh, that's a good player. There's another one. Good but not great, maybe. I think his talent transcends role player.
Wait, say that again.
His talent transcends role player. So
yeah,
it's either good but not great.
Yeah,
or not sure about this one.
This is totally like a all or nothing.
Yeah,
for me,
that's exactly right. Yeah,
it's like there's nothing middle about this.
Yeah, he is such a dangerous match winner.
Can you honestly see though? Can you see a world where Jamari Ugle-Hagan wins this Gold Coast Suns side of premiership?
I also struggle to see the scenario that he destabilizes the club.
Okay. Would you what would be an example where you could say that somebody did that? Like, would you say the Tim Kelly trade had a negative influence on West Coast? Not necessarily Tim Kelly from an off-field. I'm not saying it from an off-field perspective,
I know
but just
what you
like
mean.
the trade, the noise, the drama. Did that have any effect on West Coast's downfall, do you think?
Maybe not. Maybe in media circles it did. And you could certainly make the argument they don't do that trade. The rebuild happens a bit quicker. Not much quicker though.
Mm-hmm.
This scenario is a little bit different because Gold Coast haven't paid anything for him. Right?
Yeah.
So we're really just talking about the risk of him not turning out. I don't know. I think he justifies the trade if he just kicks a really big finals goal.
Yeah, I think that's totally. He could have a crap season, and then he turns up in finals and has one really big performance in a prelim or a semi.
Yeah,
and where like the narrative's completely flipped. So I do agree with you on that. So I would say we're leaning there then, good but not great.
I think considering they didn't pay anything for him, I think if they
does that
spent some
matter for this
capital-
though? Does that actually have too much of a bearing on this?
Well, I guess if we're assessing the quality of the trade and the risk.
Yeah.
But we're just talking about impact in this impact for the club on field. Well, then I think he has to be good but not great.
Yeah, okay. Let's put him in there. Jamara Ugelhagen, good but not great.
That's a tough one, hey. I don't
He's a tough one. He's a very tough one.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been great in the preseason. So
Fair,
he's tricky. Ned Flanders, aka Sam Flanders.
His alter ego.
Yeah.
Good but not great.
Yeah.
He plays a pretty primary role in that midfield.
Yeah, he does. I think he's going to be an important player. At the very least, I think he kind of replaces what like a Jack McRae is doing from a longer term perspective. I don't know if Flanders becomes like a really top level player, if I'm honest.
No, I don't think so either. But I still think that can constitute good but not great.
Yes.
Because I wouldn't say, I mean, Oscar is a very good player, but I wouldn't say he's going to be a top liner.
I think if you're getting into, unless you're like the defensive mid, if you get in, if St Kilda become a top 10 team like they want to be, and he's one of the starting midfielders, then I think he's more than a role player.
Yeah.
And I could easily see it going like that.
Yeah. I don't think he's been recruited as their fifth mid. He's been recruited as one of their more primary movers.
A primary mover, 100%.
So, yeah, I'd say good but not great.
Yeah.
That one's an easy one.
Like I'd call like a Rowbottom or a Willem Drew a role player in a top level, has been in a top level midfield.
Sure.
I think he could be considered more than that, which puts him out of the role player.
Yep.
Budarick.
Role player. Not too much doubt about that, I would have thought.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not depth, is he?
Somewhat unique in that team, I guess. Or like, he's coming to play a role that... Well, actually, I think he's playing backline, is he, for the Bulldogs? Because he played a bit of forward, but I think he played his best footy.
He's playing lockdown defender, essentially.
Yeah.
Getting a bit of the ball.
That's textbook role player.
It is, actually.
Now, how will he go against the Kalachi? I'm not too sure.
He's a good trade, too. Like, that's we need a player in a specific position, and we get the trade done. So I think that's a good one. Warpel.
I'm going to go role player. Now, is that a double standard?
No, I'm not.
You're thinking...
This is depth.
Wow.
This is depth.
You don't think he plays much? Well, I suppose for depth.
I think he plays, but he's just not that good, is he?
Yeah.
He's best and fairest winner.
I don't think he has to really... I think he's got a round one spot there waiting for him.
Yeah. But I suppose that is a role player, isn't it?
Yeah.
Letter of the law.
He's in that side purely as an extractor.
Is there a world where Jai Clark, George Stevens end up pushing him out? Probably not. Now that I asked you the question, but I answered it myself.
Like maybe Jai Clark could over the course of the season, but I think as it currently stands, he's a role player.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You've talked me around. Talked me around. Warple is a role player. Oh, we've got a big one. We've got a big dog. We've got a big dog. Cristiano Petrarco.
It's got to be the top two categories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mind you, you could say what's different is that they did pay for this one. It was a trade. But they still got Zuki on. So
do you have to? I was going to say, do you have to consider the fact that it almost is irrelevant that they had to pay for it in draft picks for the Gold Coast Suns?
Yeah, I think so.
It's not the same for them.
Yeah.
But I don't think this can be as explicit as Charlie Curnow, because I don't think they needed him as much.
No, but I reckon you could also make the argument there's some off-field benefits to recruiting one of the stars of the AFL to your club, your franchise on the Gold Coast. When a lot of people are expecting the Gold Coast Suns to nudge the premiership tilt, then they land Christian Petrarca.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of off-field in that,
Agree.
which I don't know if is outside the scope of this, but
Probably is, but
yeah, I think
bring it up.
I think it's club changing.
It has to be club changing. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I don't consider it to be, I don't know, if you're looking for that perfect harmony in a trade, I think the Curnow one is better, but you still have to put this one, given the limitations of the tier list.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you have to put him in club changing.
I do want to shout out Connor Papacheese has just become a True Footy member. Thank you so much.
What a name too.
CPC.
If Track goes in the same tier as Jamara Ugle-Hagan, the game's gone. From Sheed from the boundary.
Valid, very valid.
That's a good point.
Very valid.
That is a good point.
Great username as well.
He had to be that. I just wanted to make it known that I don't think it's quite as good a trade as Charlie Curnow. That was it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, we got a big one.
Oh,
We got a big one.
Campbell Chesser.
I noticed we don't have any depth players, but I do think Campbell's been recruited for the firsts.
He's
I saw his role player, I reckon.
Really?
I think you have to be recruited to bolster depth if you're not a guaranteed start for round one, whereas I think Campbell is.
Guaranteed starter.
I think so. At this current point in time, I think he plays round one. I could be wrong.
I don't think I had him in my best 23 for Carlton.
Yeah, but that's because you don't rate him. Carlton do. They see it a lot.
You do.
I think he's fairly, no, maybe not unique, but like they needed players like that with his skill set.
They did. They needed pace.
So I think he'll be given that opportunity.
Yeah.
He's probably somewhere between the two.
I've got to say, having this conversation with you, I've made that almost exact argument with CJ, who you wanted to put in depth. And it's probably the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
They needed something. They got it, and he's going to play. So fair.
We might not actually have any depth players at this point.
Yeah.
But that's okay. But we'll put him in role player.
I think there will be. I think some will come.
Yeah, I think there's one that I can see.
Juddy McVee is next to the Freo Dockers.
Role player.
I reckon, you know what? I reckon halfway through last year, I'd have put, if this trade had happened, I would have put him in good but not great.
Yeah.
But the more I've watched of him closely, back into last year when he went into the midfield for the Ds a little bit, and then what I've seen of him this preseason, I'm more hesitant on that, and I want to put him in role player because I think there's some limitations.
I think so too. I think he'll play that lockdown role. And I don't think he has the offensive weapons, and there's better players at Fremantle.
Which screams role.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely screams role. He's better than depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely better than depth.
We're running out of room, so we've just moved we've moved the faces.
I love that. Sheed from the boundary, 6'7", has also become a member. Thank you so much.
That is beautiful. That is absolutely
so
beautiful.
much.
Someone said you're coping. I must be about Chesser.
Wouldn't I slaughter it if I was bitter or coping?
Yeah, but he just
like
he just wants to rip you. So
if I was coping, I would have said no, he's no good.
Oh dear. Oh, this is a big one. We've got a big fish. We have a big fish, Tom de Koning, to the St Kilda Football Club. Now, my first initial reaction to this is, obviously it's a big dog moving club. Could potentially be in the future one of the best ruckmen in the competition. But then I hesitate and I say they already had Rowan Marshall. It's not really like the perfect trade in that sense. They didn't need him.
No.
But he's still a very good player and someone that you'd want to get into the club.
This is a little bit Petrarca-esque with the off-field side of it as well, where I think St Kilda landing a big fish, albeit he's not Christian Petrarca.
Symbolic.
It's a big move for the club.
Yes.
So from that point of view, you could argue club changing. In terms of output, he's a very good player. I think you could probably consider putting him in club changing, bearing in mind I don't think he's on the level of Petrarca and Curnow to this point.
No.
But
now,
how much does he improve the team?
He feels better than good but not great.
Agreed.
But almost like he hasn't put, because he's shown glimpses of brilliance and he's had some brilliant games.
Yeah. Or even for like half a season. When we say glimpses, it was like a half a season, which is a decent amount.
It's a decent amount. And he's looked at times like and I think the new ruck rules will suit him as well, which is really, really important. But he kind of had half a season off last year too. I think like once this trade was pretty confirmed to go through, he down tools a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I think has to be, maybe it doesn't have to be considered in the conversation, but we have to talk about it. I'm like, where I'm going with this, as I'm arguing in my own brain, I'm thinking club changing. I think it has to be. Because I think he's too, like, Jamari Ugle-Hagan, Ned, and Oscar Allen, he's above that.
Yeah.
He's above that.
Agreed. I'm happy with club changing.
If your club got TDK, where would you want to put it?
Well, again, you also could, West Coast is such a basket case that, like, getting Lachie Neale is club changing. And that's no disrespect to Lachie Neale, but he's 33. So, but I just mean, like, the bar's lower for West Coast specifically. I think the logic applies with St Kilda getting a big fish from Carlton, who's a bigger club.
Malcolm Roses Jr.
Somewhere between good but not great and role player. He looks good.
I've got a feeling this guy's going to be good, man.
I agree.
I'm thinking good but not great might be the play for him.
But it's just so early.
It's so early.
He could be a high quality role player. Like look what like Cal Archie is. A high quality role player.
He's a high quality role player, but maybe Malcolm Roses Jr. Maybe that's just because we haven't seen as much of him.
Yeah, probably.
But also, this is exactly the exact type of scenario where a gun player comes from. He's been pushed back at the Gold Coast Suns where he hasn't got opportunity, gets an opportunity at a new club, and you go, fuck, that guy's good.
It's just that's a full faith selection, that one.
I mean,
he hasn't shown it a lot.
Pre-season, though, he's looked bloody good.
Yeah.
He's going to get starved more in when the defenses really kick in and it's, winter months and he can't get on the ball.
Yeah.
And Papley comes back. Oh, that's tough.
I think he's got to go role player personally.
What does everyone think in the chat here?
Yeah. I think if he has a season like Cal Archie, you'd say, geez, he's good, but he's still a role player.
Yeah. I know they play the same position, sort of, but they're kind of different too, aren't they? Like what a good season is for Malcolm Roses Jr. is sort of different to Archie.
Yeah. It's also worth noting he does fill a need for Sydney.
He does.
That Archie maybe doesn't as obviously for Adelaide.
Exactly. Exactly. I want to put him in good but not great.
All right.
Can we have this?
Yeah, it's your video. I would have probably leaned towards role player, but I think the clear standout there is just that that's predictive.
It's definitely predictive.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
But if we're not doing that,
we're
not doing our job.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Sammy Draper, kind of a big dog. Moves from Essendon, where again he's probably a bit similar in the sense that he's shown glimpses, but he's never had a full dominant season. We know you hate him, and you hate Essendon.
I don't hate either of those things.
You weren't as much of a fan of this one though, were you?
Well, I just don't know if he's got the output to justify where a lot of the hype has come from.
Sure.
He's more of a set of attributes at this point. I think he played some really good footy and then got injured.
Does it help?
Then again, Oscar Allen's similar. Oscar Allen's had one pretty elite season.
One good season.
I
don't know if Draper's even had one full good season.
No, he hasn't.
He's probably had some consistent form.
Yeah.
Prolonged form.
I could see him tearing it up at Brisbane.
You could see anyone tearing it up at Brisbane. Is it a factor that McInerney retires and now it feels like it's more important that they got that type of player. The ruck rules have changed and he can probably play into those ruck rules a bit. Does that make the trade better?
I think so, to be honest. Yes.
I'm leaning, you could go as low as role player, but I'm leaning good but not great.
Yeah.
It's not club changing.
No, definitely not. No. I was leaning between 2 and 3 there. So I'll say good but not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The injury, he is injured, isn't he? He's been in a moon boot.
That's true. Yeah, expect about round 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think, so we're probably not going to get the sugar hit of that one.
No.
Will Hayward. I was about to say Charlie Curnow. I'm like, he got traded for him, but he hasn't turned into him.
I think Will Hayward, it's going to be a very high impact recruit for him.
I think this one's easy.
Good but not great?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
I thought you might argue for club changing. I thought that's a stretch. Yeah, I think good but not great.
Yeah.
I would put Ainsworth in the same category.
I would too.
But
I
it's the
think
combo of both that you almost want to elevate into club changing,
Exactly.
but in
Exactly.
isolation.
they're definitely both good but not great.
Yeah.
But I still think there actually is an argument that Carlton definitely won the trade.
Remind me which the big Charlie Curnow one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made themselves better.
They
When I
did.
say that, that doesn't have to take away from Sydney, me saying that, because I think Sydney got what they wanted out of it as well. It is one of those pure win-wins.
It could be measured in premierships.
It could be measured in premierships.
Yeah.
Or tier lists.
Yes.
Ainsworth as well. Good but not great.
Yeah.
Good but
They
not.
look like great recruits though.
So depth and not sure about this one.
Ooh. Shit.
This is Clayton Oliver.
I don't know if any of them are right. He's definitely not club changing. Good but not great seems generous, but he's a bit more than a role player if he's becoming a primary midfielder. He's certainly not depth because he's going to be in the team.
This one's. I think you could have put this one in. Not sure about this one, and it would have been it would have fit really snugly in there.
Yeah.
But after Tom Green gets injured, there's all of a sudden an exact need for that type of player,
Fair.
and he's just a downgrade on Tom Green,
Yeah.
but a similar type. Do you give them credit for that? I don't know.
Nah, but I suppose we're assessing their impact as recruits.
Yeah,
So
and I reckon he will have a bigger impact. I haven't been overly inspired by his preseason work. He just sort of looks, I don't know, like he's lost. I don't exactly know what it is, if it's speed or it's like physicality, but he just doesn't seem to have that same presence at the contest that he did
definitely.
when he was at his best. Oh,
But he also went cheap.
he went cheap. He's going to be a role player. It's got to be a role player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I can't put him in good but not great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't demonstrated that ability for a while.
It'll be,
I'm happy with the role.
he'll
player.
play a role because he'll play Tom Green's role.
Yeah.
And I just think he'll just do it okay.
He'll be an important part of their midfield, but it remains to be seen how well he'll play.
I did say that he finished top 3 in their best and fairest, but I'm regretting that
Yeah.
now.
Early days.
Fiorini.
Free agency move, I think. Or a cheap trade. Either way,
I
it
can't
wasn't
remember
much.
how this one
Yeah.
went down, but
Can't remember if he's out of contract. Look, probably a bit of a strange recruit.
he's in their leadership group.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's probably the reason why then, because they are a young side now, one of the
Yeah.
youngest in the second youngest in the comp, and having a mature body, I suppose.
He played VFL last year
Mm.
for Gold Coast. He worked his way back into the
Yeah.
team.
That is a Gold Coast though.
That is a Gold
Yeah,
Coast.
like
It's a
stronger
good-
depth.
it's a
He'll
good
play
side.
AFL, so he's not
Sure.
he's not depth.
No, so he's a role player.
Yeah.
He's he's almost strangely been recruited as a specifically as a leader.
Mm.
Like he's not been the role. Like, do they really need him to play wing? Probably not. Like they got other guys that could play that position.
Yeah.
But they almost just want him there as a leader.
Yeah. That's true.
So role player.
Yeah, I'd say role player.
It's more than depth, isn't it?
Yeah, we're gonna have no one in the not sure about this one.
We can. Yeah, we are actually, aren't we? Oh, yeah. We could have one.
It feels
here.
harsh.
Putting someone in, not sure about this one.
Yeah.
I reckon we could have had Jamara in there.
Yeah.
Could have had Clayton in there.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Fair.
Could have had Warple in there. No, we couldn't have. He would have been.
He'll be okay. We know what we're gonna get from Warple.
Yeah. Brody Mychek.
Depends how much. Like he reckons he's good for another 3 or 4 years or whatever. If he plays to a decent level for 3 or 4 years, or 3 years, let's call it.
I would
He's
say
not a young man anymore.
No, he's not, and his body's been terrible to him recently. I would say good, but not great.
Really?
Yeah. He's a good player.
Definitely.
He's a very high level player. Like he's won the goal kicking numerous times at Collingwood.
He's like 34 though. So we're
Yeah.
forecasting what this year will be like.
Yeah.
I suppose in the context of Melbourne, it could be good but not great. I don't know if he'll perform as strongly as some of the other names in this category.
Who wins Melbourne's goal kicking?
It could be JVR.
Could be.
Could be
Could
Cozzy
be
Pickett.
Pickett.
Yeah,
I mean,
did Pickett win it last year? I
think
can't remember.
so.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think so.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be a chance for that.
He's a good target down there for them. I think he's really important. I think he's
Yeah.
good but not great.
Yeah, okay. He's cool. He's clearly better than a Fiorini, I'd say, in terms
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
impact. Yeah. Yeah.
He's
in the old-
Chesser.
He's in the old jumper. Yeah.
Chesser's there. Okay, we've got Jack Steele to the Demons, who I think this was a pretty good pickup given that they lost Petrarca and Oliver.
Yeah. And
But
Viney's also now injured.
Viney's now
So it
injured
helps,
as well,
yeah.
but I think this has to go in role player.
I agree. Yeah, he's in there for an experienced body, and no disrespect to the player he was, but I don't think they're expecting him to be an A-grader.
No.
He's there for depth. No, not depth, but a bigger body, leadership experience,
yeah,
stability.
it's to fill a position, and probably in a couple of years they'll either move him on, depending on where their list is at.
Yeah.
I would suggest he'd be about 31, wouldn't he? 30, 31?
Good question. I forget how old he is. I think he's born in 96. So that makes him 30 this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit younger than I expected.
Yeah.
Brandon Starcevic.
Good but not great.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's about right. Eh?
that's easy.
He's clearly not a role player and he's not going to change the club, but he's a good player.
Yeah.
And I don't expect that to change.
He fits perfectly into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he'll be up there in your best and fairest this season. Tyler Young is a trickier one.
That is a trickier one. I don't know if he's shown enough to be in the caliber of good but not great.
Oh, no way.
I'm just eliminating them. And he's not he's not depth because I think he will play. But that's a reflection of West Coast defensive stocks losing McGovern and Barris
Yeah.
very quickly.
I can't believe we've got no one in the bottom two. How was nobody depth?
Well, we didn't put every single trade recruit
No, we didn't.
because Corey Durden, Jacob Ware
Yes.
are also not in here.
I was going to upload that and I forgot to.
Who else? Is there other players?
There would be a few player movements, I think, that
Yeah.
happened that we just weren't. Oh, I actually forgot to put Liam Ryan.
Yes, Liam Ryan.
I forgot
Where
to
would
put
you
Liam
put
Ryan.
Liam Ryan?
I would put Liam Ryan. Oh, he's had a really good preseason.
Yeah, I reckon good but not great.
Good but not great.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Good but not great.
Tyler Young is a role player, I'd say.
Yeah, he has to be.
I think the intention is to play him in the first team. He can't be depth.
Yeah.
We've got no depth players except the last one. Surely,
okay.
one below. Sorry, producer. Thank you.
Does this one though? Like, could you make an argument that this one just doesn't make any sense?
But it's depth, Dylan.
It is. Depth. I can't.
and the cost.
Yeah. Fair.
It was a weird one.
Yeah.
Of all the clubs to bolster their midfield, I didn't think Port Adelaide would necessarily add a Will Brodie.
Also, from Will Brodie's perspective, like if you're looking around the AFL and going, I want to get into an AFL club and I want to play, Port Adelaide?
Yeah.
Why would you want to go to? I mean, beggars can't be choosers from his perspective, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like you'd have a better shot at Adelaide.
That's true. It's true. I guess it depends on the interest.
West Coast. How did
Yeah.
you guys not look at him?
Because I think West Coast and Fremantle don't deal with each other. So maybe as a listed free agent,
Even
we have
over a
gotten-
player like that, where it's their career, like the end of their career. It's not like Brodie's not going to go down as a Freo legend.
No. Well, we did take Hugh Dixon as an SSP, so that could be the way. But I don't think a trade would have been on. So look, I think this is depth.
Has to be.
I think this is depth.
Has to be depth.
Yeah.
And there it is. 3 players going to club changing. I did notice a few St Kilda. I don't know if that was St Kilda fans actually, or just other people saying that Flanders will elevate St Kilda more than TDK. I don't think Flanders could ever be club changing.
Nah. You can find Flanders more easily than you can find a TDK.
Totally.
So there it is. Let us know in the comments what you think. And make sure you have
I
subscribed.
was just trying to look at which ones kind of felt wrong in conclusion, but it's a tricky one with recruits. You're obviously projecting there is an element of projection there.
Yeah.
Roses Jr. was obviously I wanted him in that good but not great category, which was quite high, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I forgot about Florent as well.
Oh, Florent would be a role player for sure.
Yeah, so it wouldn't change that much, would it?
Yeah.
Widescreen TV, Jesse. Where do you rank Brady Hoff as a small defender in the AFL? The pantheon of small defenders.
I need to throw some names at me.
Yeah.
Well, Starcevich is probably the best for that, I'd say.
I would say he's right up there as a small lockdown.
Jackson Archer, Judd McVie, these guys would be in the same category.
I'm trying to think of established ones because they're all young.
I suppose
Generally what happens is you play that kind of odd. I reckon you got to throw players that are a little bit taller into the mix as well. Like you got to throw like a Josh Battle.
Yeah, okay.
Nick Newman's done that to a pretty high level. Connor Iden.
Yeah.
Like kind of played that third tall role, and they play on smalls as well. Himmelberg plays a bit of that role.
Yeah. It's hard to say.
I'm trying to think of the...
He doesn't hurt you on the rebound as much as some of these other clubs. Players.
Maynard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, he's not as... full package of a player. He's not as good as Braden Maynard yet, but...
No.
As a pure lockdown, I think he'd be fairly up the list, to be honest, Brady.
Yeah.
I think he's a pretty elite at it.
Quaynor would be another one.
Yeah.
From a top club. Max Michelini.
Yeah, true. I think pure defense, Hoff is right up the top there.
Yeah.
Maybe not higher than Starcevich. Both the Eagles players.
It's so funny because I remember when Hoff entered the league, he was seen as this sort of soft, silky outside player.
Yeah.
Uncontested, skinny, and probably wouldn't get his hands dirty. And he's kind of really flipped that script.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's a very dour defender.
Yeah.
People saying Vostruan.
Oh, yeah. Good shout.
Yeah, I was thinking...
Vostruan's
obviously a better player than Brady Hoff.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I was looking top end of the table, but yeah, he definitely is. Yeah, there's some... I suppose like you're trying to look for those guys that are a similar size, and there's a lot of guys that are hybrid in size that play those kind of roles. But yeah,
Sam Wicks.
Yeah, he kind of broke out last year, didn't he? I mean, you could probably throw players like a Dane Rampy. He's a bit of that type of player.
True.
That's experienced.
Yeah.
Jake Lloyd's more of an on-the-ball player than a defensive player.
That's right.
I'm really just going through clubs. Sleeping Shadow says Sam Cumming just ruled out for the first month of the season.
Oh, okay. That could be worse, to be honest. He had a troubling, like, that. I think it's the same shoulder he ended his season last year.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
So 4 weeks in the long term, you take that.
Not too bad.
It's not too bad.
Not too bad. It can't be super, super serious.
Yeah.
We have 238 people in the YouTube chat. Thank you for being with us, guys.
In terms of the schedule, we might only have time for one more segment.
I reckon we probably do.
Yeah. So I'm thinking El Bathroom-o.
El Bathroom.
And then maybe the biggest headaches.
Yeah, I like that.
Thoughts? Yeah.
Like that.
Okay, cool.
Like that. Yeah, that's a good one. And okay, we have some people in the chat. Zach Guthrie, that's a good shout. That is a really, really good shout. And he's someone that hasn't, he's another one a little bit the same as Brady Hoff in the sense that, like, I think people saw him as more of a on the ball, kind of a bit of a nice player, didn't really want to get his hands dirty. And he's just transformed into an absolute dog of a player, hasn't he, Zach Guthrie? Like, he'd be one of the, maybe not the first player picked, but he's right up there. Like, he's turned into such a weapon for them. Same injury. People saying Sam Cumming rising star 2027. That is refluke. I reckon if he's only out for a month, then we're going to still get to see quite a lot of games from him. Ideally, I think he's still going to play. Daniel Savanos says, don't watch a lot of West Coast games, but Hoff looks nice. Yeah, he's turned into a really, really, like Jesse said, like a really dour defensive player, someone that doesn't give a lot away. I think West Coast have got a few of those types now with Jimby as well as a bit of a, he can play tall, can play small as well. So they've got some options back there. Sheed from the boundary, 67 says, excited to see Jagger play. I mean, he was just awesome in the preseason. I think there'll be more challenges for him, but given the fact that like Chera's injury opens up a lot of midfield minutes for Jagger Smith. So they're going to have Cripps, Hewitt, Walsh. Walsh looks so good from the midfield at the weekend. So I think I think there was kind of speculation that there was speculation that Walsh was going to play a bit more wing, maybe half forward this season, but I reckon he will play strong midfield minutes. So Jagger Smith will be the fourth until Chera is back at least. They were trialling him as a bit of a high forward, which I think he works, but I'd almost say he's ready just to play full-time midfield minutes. Daniel Sevenos says, do you have much surface info on draftees, Dylan? Having a look at the AIS squad seems like a lot of rucks, not too many pure mids. I haven't got a lot of names in front of me at the moment. I can only really go off a bit of bottom age stuff from last year, as well as the under 17s futures and stuff like that. Marlon Neocleus looks pretty good as a small forward.
I reckon you saying that.
Yeah,
that name.
Yeah, Neocleus.
Yeah.
I reckon he'll be one that clubs are looking at. I like Harry Van Adam, Northern Knights player. He's 202 centimetres, moves really well for a tall. Jordan Knapp, I actually really like as well. Eastern Rangers, he's probably more of a midfield type. And then you got your Cody Walkers, Dougie Cochran, obviously. They're kind of the big names coming into the season. But I'd like to see, we've got the Coates Talent League. The first week of games is on the 23rd of March. So I'll be heading out to that, and then we'll obviously get a lot more information from that.
Yeah. I have no insight into the draft yet. It's a little bit early for West Coast to be... Well, it's actually not. I think West Coast will have pick one. So I will need to start researching that pretty soon. But yeah, I did see there's I think Toomey did a list, and there's a lot of forward rucks, and I'm just like,
yeah, please no.
We're actually okay in that part of the ground. So.
Did he have Harry Van Adam?
I can't remember. It's been a while. I reckon he did. Yeah. What kind of player is he?
Forward ruck.
Good. Hopefully. I mean, there are some top talents, but the two best ones seem to be club tied at the moment, Dougie Cochran and Cody Walker. Gee, Carlton, they have a really good season and then added Cody Walker. Suddenly, the outlook's looking very promising.
100%. You've got, all of a sudden, you've got
Walsh.
two pick threes in a row. Plus you've got, who was I going to say? Plus you've got, two pick threes in a row plus Cody Walker. Whatever he ends up being.
Dean, Jagger, and Cody Walker.
Yep.
And then Sam Walsh still the best years ahead of him still, I would say. So exciting times, potentially.
Yeah. Yep. No, we need a bit more to play out.
Yeah.
Jesse, what are we going into next year?
For this set, we actually have a donation. Thank you so much, Reef Luke. Thank you. Jesse, what are your thoughts on our strongest midfield for round one now? Before yesterday, I would have had T-Mac in and Dev next man up, but now I'm leaning towards Dev in and T-Mac back to help to the back half, I think. Halfback. Thank you, Reef. Quickly on that one. I think that I wouldn't have deviated too much from just the one game. I think TK coming back helps. I think he'll come in. I'm optimistic we get a better version of TK. Obviously, the one last year wasn't great. I think Yo will build into that role more. So you still got Yo and TK in there. I think T-Mac, they give him some time. I wouldn't abandon that too early. And we've also got other players who can play that rebounding role. He may still rotate there. Dev had an interesting game. He had 5 clearances, 28 touches. And I suppose we need to give him time as well. But it seems at times he kind of forgot he doesn't have the agility of a Zach Butters. And he got wrapped up and caught far too often. But he also had 3 or 4 massive fend-offs. Okay. So it's like, okay, maybe he's maturing and he is that player. So I think we play Dev anyway. But I would still prioritise T-Mac, and I'd probably play Kelly half forward. And Yo's probably going to play 50-50.
Reed's in there, I assume.
Reed will be in there. Sorry, I didn't even mention him. Yeah. Hewitt probably more forward.
Yeah, I'd say. I feel like Hewitt needs to develop a little bit more before you kind of just throw him in there. You need a bit more of a foothold in the game before just unleashing him.
Yeah, exactly. He's a talented forward as well. So which makes him a little bit different to
dangerous
some
at forward stoppage.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited about that. But thank you, Reef Luke, for that contribution.
I like that.
The last segment, every club's biggest headache. We're going to go through the 18 teams alphabetically, and we are going to probably just pick out what is their biggest headache on the cusp of season 2026. And we have divided it 9 teams each. I'm going to start with the Adelaide Crows. You will go with the Brisbane Lions, and we'll move onward from there.
Yep.
So I'm going to start with the Adelaide Crows. I think prior to this, might have talked about midfield depth and dynamism and some other options to support Dawson and that. But I'm going to say the Mark Keane injury might be the biggest headache.
Yeah.
Now, they did really well with a unheralded backline last year. We saw Josh Worrell sort of announce himself as an absolute gun, and Jordan Butts and Nick Murray have been capable. But I think Mark Keane's form last year really helped elevate Adelaide to being a really strong team, and I think that might actually be a bigger issue than maybe midfield depth.
I think it's a great shout because their backline wasn't just unheralded last year. Like, it was actually elite, and it was one of the best in the competition. Just a pure one-on-one winning and winning the ball back off the opposition. So they were able to not just defend, but actually get stuff going. So I think that's a great shout. And I think they're going to bring in Butts, and Butts will be okay as a defender, but Keane's so much more versatile.
I should clarify, Keane is expected back in the second half of 2026, so it's not he's not out for the whole year. I should say that. But it's
a bad injury.
You can lose some games. Well, they could lose enough games for it to hurt, I reckon, potentially, without looking at the fixture.
It's got vibes for me, like that type of player that Mark Keane is. It's got vibes of the Nathan Murphy injury, where it feels like to Collingwood.
Oh yeah,
with the
I was thinking
retirement.
Concussion. Well, he retired with a concussion though.
Yeah, retired from concussion.
Yeah,
but like they just couldn't replace him.
Oh, sorry, I'm with you. Yeah,
for what he did defensively to cover for like Darcy Moore. To be able to come across to intercept and then get their attacking going. And they just never really properly recovered from that after 2023.
That's true.
So I like it. Yeah. I have the Brisbane Lions, which is
it's a tough ask.
It's a really tough ask. I mean, the only thing that I can sort of go to here is like the Lachie Neale situation. Obviously, they've had not necessarily Brisbane as a club have had a lot of media around this, but that's a big story for him to hold coming into the preseason. Do I think this is going to unravel the Brisbane Lions? No. I think they'll finish on top.
Yeah.
They'll win like 20 games and probably win the premiership.
We saw them win a flag with a PR crisis with that Las Vegas trip. Remember at the start of 24 and they were like 2-5 and they still won the flag. So I think they'll be fine.
But I can't go to an area of their team and make an argument that, their defenders aren't good enough or their midfield's not good enough or they don't have this winger or this half forward.
No, of course.
So it's kind of got to be something external.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that was a tough job and you were unlucky with that one.
I was.
Carlton. We've seen really promising signs this preseason and I don't want to dampen that, but I would just revert back to things that have plagued them in recent times. And it's probably just their ball movement and their lack of punish. Now, Ben Ainsworth, Will Hayward, in particular, and Jagger Smith look like they're going to go some way to rectifying the way Carlton hurt teams, all of those three together. And of course, Elijah Hollands, actually. I think he could be a bit of a wild card.
Me too.
As a ball movement player. And then, of course, the illustrious Campbell Chesser, who I think could play a role on the wing there. But specifically, Carlton were ranked number 13 in the league last year for intercept to score, number 15 for half back to score, and number 16 in scores per inside 50. Nick Newman, another player who's
done
going to return.
Stats. He's brought stats to the table.
I have. And Nick Newman as well as another introduction. So I am optimistic they can improve massively in this space. But I think if we're looking at the way Carlton need to improve, that is where I'd start. Because the way they win it, clearance, contested ball seems to be fine.
So you think we'll be having that same discussion potentially around the Blues where we're saying like they can't move the footy?
I don't know if that's my prediction. I just think that's going to be the biggest focus for them.
Yeah.
I could have also said the absence of Charlie Curnow, but I think with Harry Mackay there and Hayward coming in, I don't think it's
a big deal for them.
I think it's the ball movement is probably more important than not having Charlie Curnow.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, totally agree. So I have Collingwood next on the board. I think the thing here for the Pies, it's just that forward line and where they're going to get the goals from. Brady Mychek, who's been a leading goal kicker for them, walks out the door. Jamie Elliott was their leading goal kicker last year. And I just don't think at his age, what's he, 34 now?
Yeah.
You're not going to get the same. It's unlikely that you're going to get the same output out of a player like that.
Totally.
So someone's going to have to step up. I think it was Rogue Riot that said in the chat before, you've got like Buller and West and probably Steen, who's playing as a bit of a ruckman, as a bit of a forward as well. Like someone like that's going to have to step up, but that's a bit of a wild card shout.
Absolutely. I think you nailed it. I think that's clearly Collingwood's biggest headache, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, Bobby Hill too. I didn't even mention Bobby Hill.
True. Yeah. So I made the point that they might look dynamite this year and just struggle to score. But
they'll still restrict. They'll still restrict teams. It'll just be about what they can do offensively.
Absolutely. Essendon, this one's a tricky one just because they were so injury ravaged last year. It's hard to isolate one part of their game. I just went with a simple stat of their points per game last year was 67.7.
Okay.
So they just need to score more, Dylan, and concede less. Specifically, their points from turnover differential last year was minus 19.2. And that was both the total scores and the points from turnover was their worst since their wooden spoon year.
You went real statty here,
I
didn't
did,
you?
yeah.
You son of a bitch.
It was their worst for 10 years since they won the wooden spoon in the Azada year. So,
wow.
I mean, look, Essendon were difficult to analyse last year. So that was the best I could come up with. But
a season of two halves,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do think that their winning at the beginning of the season was a little bit oversold because I think they won something like 5 out of their first 8 or 6 out of their first 8 games.
Yeah.
Something like
6
that.
of 10, I think it was.
6 of 10, okay.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of close wins against fairly weak opposition. So I'm not sure if that holds up necessarily. But so what was that in the end? What was your takeaway there?
Just probably hitting the scoreboard.
Okay.
I know that's
so it
dumb.
actually was just like
I know that's dumb, but 67.7 is particularly bad.
It's bad.
It's particularly bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So I've got Freo.
Nice.
I think Freo, there's one hole at the moment, and it's the halfback ball movement.
Ah.
Were you going to say premiership?
No,
cover
no,
or something?
no,
Was it
no.
either?
I was being dirty.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. I think still last year there is and this is difficult to identify whether it's purely personnel and they don't have the players to be able to move the ball back there or they're just being instructed. But they feel uncomfortable with the ball at halfback for me. You've still got players running around there like Bailey Banfield, Luke Ryan that I've talked about, and some of the other tools too, like Cox and Pierce, those kind of guys. Like they're shaky on the ball. So they've got McVie coming in there, but I don't know if he's ready to be like a prime ball mover. So if you don't have Hayden Young back there, you've basically only got Jordan Clark as like a prime mover off halfback. So I'm just not quite sure if that's good enough to have control in games when you need to just, park the bus a little bit, move the ball methodically out of D50. I'm not sure if they have that down and I trust them yet with that.
So you said earlier Hayden Young to halfback is probably what you'd do?
I think so. Given that they're already so strong in the midfield, it's like we're going to take a small amount off the midfield and give it to halfback because I think it needs it more.
What about Murphy Reid at halfback? I think you'd be robbing your forward line too much.
Yeah.
Like he's such a good retention player for ball inside 50. I think it was a stat. He ranks really highly for ball retention, specifically inside forward 50. You probably don't take that away from your forward line.
No.
But he could probably kill it in that role.
He's a funny player because like you could say this about him in any role. Like as a high forward, I thought he's not really dynamic and pacey enough. And my first thought with halfback is like, he can't really, like he's not really a guy that has heaps of leg drive and can like power through.
Yeah.
Whereas like Hayden Young kind of can. So he's a bit more dynamic. But then like he's done well every other position he's played. So you probably just work it out.
That's true. Geelong Football Club. Tough one. I mean, there's some positional weaknesses. They've never had a strong ruck situation. It's never really been a problem for them.
No.
Probably haven't had a really good ruck since Brad Otten's.
Yeah.
Unless I'm missing someone there. But there will probably be a transition to Toby Conway / Mitch Edwards. We saw a bit in the preseason games. I suppose you could then say there's a vulnerability with their aging stars, but I don't know if I'm going to make that point because we say that every year.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think Stewart and Cameron in particular, like they're not going to drop off too much. I'm just simply going to say scars from a heavy grand final defeat. And the ability to rebound from that will probably be the biggest concern.
So more of a motivation.
It's just that historically teams that play poorly in grand finals struggle to get going the following year. Last time Geelong played in a grand final, they did win it, but they failed to make the finals the next year. So that's probably the biggest concern. But I think from a list point of view, we're expecting them to go deep again, even though I put them in 7th.
But
that's not a list quality point.
The difference between 7th and 3rd might be a game.
Yeah, that's true. And if they struggle to get humming it, and they didn't look particularly on point this preseason, not that means much, but that's all I could come up with for Geelong.
Yeah,
They do
they're-
lack a little bit of dynamism in the midfield, but
totally, but
But they also
they did last year too.
yeah, that's right. So I don't know. I couldn't put that as a headache. So I'm going to say the abstract point
Yeah,
of.
I feel like
Scars
they
up
get
there.
all their offensive quality comes from like Manor and Grind Myers
That's true.
coming off
Myers,
the half forward line. So
Myers
that
is injured at the moment too.
he is too.
Yeah.
He actually I saw him in that Hawthorn game live, and he actually looked really good in that game. So that'll be a loss for sure. So I've got Gold Coast. The thing with they're absolutely stacked for talent. I think it's just about managing that talent. So I think like what I said before about Jamara Ugle-Hagan, it's like it's not Jamara. It's just the navigating these young, talented forwards. Like you can't really play all of them in the same team, so you're going to have to manage them, and you're going to have to manage their expectations about where they feel that they are in the scheme of things in the AFL. I think that's going to be difficult for them. That's and that was my only point with Jamara. It was kind of like you're sort of giving yourself a problem. You're giving yourself a solution to a problem that you didn't really have, and that will create another problem.
That's true. Synergy in particular being key there, I think, which is also true of St Kilda. But I agree. There is such a thing as having too many like offensively talented players.
Yeah.
To making sure they have a balanced side, I think will be potentially a headache.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen in that team currently, like Jai Farah's been in the team, and I reckon he's like a balance piece. So you just do your job because we've got too many guys. They lost Fiorini.
Yeah.
So they're going to have a lot of guys that their expectation of themselves has always been that I play offensive football. I'm a with the ball player, and someone's got to do the dirty work in there.
I like that point. That's really good. GWS, we have talked about this quite in depth on this channel. For me, it's the midfield depth, which is now, it was already a weakness. And Tom Green has done an ACL, and we know Josh Kelly will be out for at least half a season. So for me, there are concerns about their ability to limit damage from stoppage, which was a massive problem last year. So Clayton Oliver is just about there. Well, Finn Callaghan is the number one midfielder, certainly offensively. Clayton Oliver will be the out extractor type, but we're going to have to rely on a bit of Stephen Caniglio again. Toby Green will spend more time there, and I think both of those players are good, and I do think Toby Green could be a good midfielder. We've seen him play that role well before, but he's also 32, turning 33 this year, if I'm not mistaken. And then some unheralded guys like Harry Rouston and Xavier O'Halloran. There's going to be a little bit more expectation on them. So for me, I think it's quite clearly the middle of the ground. And you could also throw in a Darcy Jones absence being key to their ball movement, taking away from a strength. But I think for me, it's the midfield.
I like it. I think it's perfect. I mean, they're kind of, their scars are kind of at the moment like laid bare for everybody to see, right? Just with the players that are missing. But they have had that midfield depth issue. Hawthorn, I've just gone for the lowest of hanging fruit here. Say it with me.
Will
Day. Yeah, I just like when you've got a player like that that's such a dynamic player in the middle of the ground. I think people underrate Will Day because he has missed a lot of football. So they say that he hasn't really put it all together. His top end football, I think it was 2024 would have been his sort of breakout season. 23 would have been the breakout season.
Yeah, 24 was. When did they play final? When did they beat Port? Was that 24? That was 24.
That was 24.
Yeah.
And then
they lost to Port, sorry.
And then 2025, like some of the games before his injury at the beginning of that season were absolutely out of this world. It's hard for a team that's pushing that isn't a Gold Coast or hasn't had a heap of like priority picks or anything like that. It's hard for a team like that to kind of withstand that, having a player like that out of your team that's so dynamic and such a point of difference in that midfield.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're up against.
Absolutely. It places a lot of pressure on a midfield that already, they lost Warple, so there's a little bit less depth there, and it places a little bit of pressure on guys like Ward and McKenzie, who do look up to it, I think, but it's whether or not it's going to be this year. And this is a team gunning for the premiership. It's not the midfield mix that you would associate with a premiership quality team.
None of the other guys in their midfield, and this is even like Newcomb's a really, really high level player, but none of them have the quality and the point of difference that Will Day does.
Yeah, absolutely. Where are we up to?
Northie. Oh, no, you got Melbourne.
I've got Melbourne.
Yep.
I've got some stats here.
Oh, I bet you do.
They have some really jarring stats from last year. And we have a new coach, so I don't know if we're going to see massive differences, but I'll throw some stats at you. They averaged conceded points. Sorry, their average conceded points was 88.6 last year, which was their worst since 2019.
Yep.
Which is when they finished second last. Their score per inside 50 rate against was 48%. Their worst since 2016. Their backline stats are woeful, and Stephen May is leaving as well, which I know that is towards the end of his career, but it didn't strengthen. Their pressure rating last year was 175, which was their worst output in a season on record. Bearing in mind, pressure rating is a pretty modern stat, rather.
Yep.
So it's their defensive game as much as anything. I think, I don't have the stats in front of me, but they did start improving their forward connection massively at the end of last year into the Goodwin era. We're now in the Stephen King era, of course. But it's actually their defensive profile that is Melbourne's biggest headache, I would argue.
Well, last year was the first year that they really did start to try to change the way that they played. And obviously
that was the leather.
That was the chair.
That was the leather.
This
leather stinks.
The backfiring of that is that you open yourself up. Like you move the ball differently, you move it more aggressively, and then that opens holes. And I think that's probably a symptom of that, opening those holes like that.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that Stephen May missing from that team is going to have a huge bearing on Melbourne, because I think he was poor last year.
Yeah, that's
in the
true.
games that he played. He looked really, to be honest, like he looked a bit out of shape and not really up to it. So I think they'll be able to cover that, but I do think there will be, like, it's highly unlikely that a team like that that's had so much change is going to be able to stabilise.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I wasn't super serious with the Stephen May point, but that stat profile is damning, I would say.
Yeah, it is.
Backline.
Yeah.
Or the team defense, not just the backline.
Yeah. I think that probably would have partly been, like the stats that you read there would have been partly, the reason that Goodwin actually didn't survive. Because it's like you've tried to change and this is the outcome.
True. Yeah.
North, the backline.
Yeah.
It's fucking cooked. It's so bad. And our defensive transition is so bad. So that's what's going to kill us. We've shown no sign of improvement in that area. We've shown improvement in other areas, but it's not coming together particularly quickly.
Is that so? It's a team defense thing in addition to personnel? Because I know you have.
It's both.
Yeah,
it's both. Yeah, I think Griffin Logue, the combination of Pink, Logue, and Comben is probably just not really good enough to be an AFL defense to push us up the ladder. And at the same time, I don't think our midfield defends particularly well. We've got mostly offensive players, so balance in positions and role compliance and stuff like that go into it as well.
Yeah, fair enough. It does seem like it's a while off before Comben, Threadgold, and Will Dawson are either three backs, right?
Maybe Matt Whitlock.
I forgot about Whitlock. Yeah,
he's been playing forward, but
yeah. So that will take some time, and that's probably just the from a personnel point of view, that's the downside to recruiting all your inside mids first. I shouldn't have laughed as I said that. I'm sorry.
You're enjoying this.
I support the Eagles. I've copped it today. Copped it in the chat. Copped it.
You copped it for talking about them too much.
I know.
I just kept probing you.
And so did the chat.
Yeah.
It is something I do though, too much, but not today.
I think you have Port Adelaide.
I do have Port Adelaide. Look, a lot of things went wrong last year, and we can talk about, I think their forward line in particular struggled, but I'm actually going to go down the path of being such a poor contested ball side last year. I know that the game is not necessarily framed around clearance, stoppage, or sometimes ground balls for sure, but nonetheless, you can't be as bad as what Port Adelaide were last year. And for context, only West Coast was worse.
If I remember correctly, sorry to cut you off here, but Port Adelaide were like one of the worst teams in the competition, if not the worst, for like D50 ground ball specifically. So small forwards kill them.
Yes. So they're the worst ground ball side in the comp last year, below West Coast, which is crazy. Only West Coast was worse for contested ball, and they were the third worst side for scores from stoppage as well. So, their contested ball, I mean, we saw in the preseason game, I mean, Port did kill them, so it didn't really matter, but West Coast was up in contested ball even when they were getting killed. So it's just not a strength of Port Adelaide, but you can't be that deficient if you want to play top 10 footy, as they now call it.
Top 10 footy. Sounds American.
That's Port Adelaide.
So I've got Richmond. I don't think Richmond will have too many expectations from a wins and losses perspective in 2026, but I do think they have to get on top of this injury sort of crisis that's been plaguing them for probably the last. I think they've actually changed high performance bosses as well, and it kind of continues to linger. I think it'll start to look really bad is if they both aren't having any success on the field, they're finishing in the bottom 2 or 3 teams, and they can't get games into Smiley, Houghton, Cumming, these kind of guys. I mean, Lawler as well, who's had ongoing hamstring injuries as well. So you can't have both of those things. Like it can't be not working out with the younger players. Not that I think they've picked bad or anything there, but they've got to get them on the park
absolutely
to show something.
Yeah, you don't want to have a year where, Taranta, Hopper, Prestia, Nankervis do well and you win 5 games again, but you're not getting your games into some of those talented youngsters again.
Exactly.
So again, how much is that in their control? A little bit. Obviously, S&C is important, but it's a little bit of bad luck as to who gets injured.
Totally.
So,
but it is club wide, isn't it? That stuff. It has to come into it on some level.
Absolutely. But agreed. For a team in their position, the worst case scenario is those players missing.
Yeah, because they're almost judged more on their development.
Yes,
than on wins and losses.
That's right. St Kilda. I'm going to throw some more stats at you.
Oh, beautiful.
Look, again, it's a little bit hard to assess what is going to be a problem for St Kilda in 2026 when they have re-imaged their side so massively. But some interesting points from last year. Conceded... Sorry, let me read this again.
That's all right. I do that too sometimes when I throw lots of stats into my document.
Yeah.
And then I can't figure out what I've written.
I have phrased it really weirdly here and it's confusing me. Excuse me. You know what? I'll simplify it.
Okay.
Their return in terms of scores per inside 50 has always been a problem, and it was particularly bad last year. So, in fact, it's
St Kilda notoriously, just to add a bit of context there, they play a rollback defense.
Yeah.
So they put a lot of numbers behind the ball when they're defending.
True.
And what happens then when they're going forward? Everyone's got to run forward, and then they don't have options. So then it creates turnovers for the opposition. So that's kind of that overall criticism of Ross Lyon. Like don't be so committal to defenders behind the ball that hurts your offense as well.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. We know they have goal scoring talented players like Higgins hits the scoreboard. We know Naz hits the scoreboard when he gets the opportunity. No Max King this year, so I guess that will be part of the headache. Will be not the established 200 centimetre key forward to add structure to that forward line. They're going to have to, as they have for many years now, find other ways. Now, Rowan Marshall potentially going to play forward, or is going to play forward.
Liam Ryan.
That's true. But, and they may have some internal solutions there, but structurally this do not sound, and Rowan Marshall's not a proven goal kicker. So for me, it's going to be putting their whatever dominance they have on the scoreboard will be an issue for St Kilda.
Yeah, I think there's an element of taking the handbrake off, really, with that. Like not committing so many players behind the ball so that when you win it back, you can actually still attack. Yeah. So you can have lengthen properly, I think is a big thing for St Kilda. But they're one of the most intriguing teams,
absolutely,
I reckon, for this season, just because you don't often see that amount of change in an off season like that with big players coming in. Sydney, I've got here for them. They've got all the pieces together now. They've brought in Curnow. They've kind of slightly fixed the key position defence. McCartan will go back and play there consistently. The midfield's amazing. I think with Rosas Jr., they get an extra small forward to go with Papley. Dean Cox has to just be confident in the top job now because he's had that year where he's underperformed. I think the only thing that can go wrong is him overthinking it, not getting this right, and having a poor start to the season would be a disaster for them, I think, his second year in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, particularly with a little bit of spice around Carlton right now. Yeah. Any chance they drop that?
I reckon there is.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm not necessarily tipping Carlton.
Yeah.
I'm not going that far. But there's a bit of jeopardy there.
Yeah. I think they'll be fine. I think Gordon needs to stay fit.
Gordon needs to stay fit.
I mean, we saw the correlation between them winning and him playing last year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's as simple as that.
There's reasons for Dean Cox failing last year that aren't necessarily going to be acceptable this year.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, absolutely. The West Coast Eagles, such a bevy of things I could have chosen from. I think
what's not wrong?
I know. I was been banging on about stoppage and being so battered in contested ball. But in the 2 preseason games, we've actually hung in there really well. That wasn't the issue. I'm going to say just ball use at West Coast is
skill.
It is the number one thing now, which I suppose is a good thing because I was talking about stoppage for so long and contested ball. So it's nice that the targets changed a little bit. But I think West Coast let themselves down so much all through last year and certainly in this preseason with their inability to not only their inability to hit a target, but the compromising nature of those turnovers would just result in end-to-end footy. And I think it makes West Coast look worse than they are.
Yeah.
Because the scoreboard gets ugly and the stats are okay.
It's almost like it's inevitable that you're going to turn the ball over, but everybody's surprised on the field when you do. And the other team just goes bang.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think as well, some of the other flow-on effects are West Coast fatigue earlier in games when they do this because they have to pull off all these unrealistic chases from across the field to defend on transition. If we start hitting our targets inside, just throughout the ground, we're not doing that as much. So I actually think that is the biggest thing West Coast need to rectify in the short term.
I also think that teams that play that, like West Coast play pretty straight line footy. Like they don't switch it very much. They don't take a lot of uncontested marks, which means the ball's in motion all the time.
Yeah.
And that's physically taxing.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's why I think like it's so important to have that like Brisbane element where you can just like flick it around a bit, hang on to it and piss the other team off a bit.
Yeah. You can also hold your defensive shape better if you're taking uncontested marks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It just prepares you for the onslaught that will come at some point from the opposition. But that's a good take. I have the Western Bulldogs last.
Woo.
3, 2, 1. Defense. Oh. It's defense.
Yes.
I don't know how they fix it. They haven't really brought anyone in from a key position point of view. You've really just got to hope that Karmas becomes a better player, that O'Donnell becomes a better player, can play a little bit taller than what he is. I don't think Lob's that guy. I think Lob's going to be Lob. But can the team defense ahead of that straighten them out a little bit so that they can, all of these offensive players that they've got, these superstars that they've got can thrive?
Absolutely. I think it's possible. I think we've seen teams overcome a lack of tall talent down back with strong teams. I mean, Collingwood's never really, other than Darcy Moore, but like they're more defensive system than anything. To use my club again as an example, 2015 invented the Weagles web. So like Sharad Wellingham's playing as an intercept defender. It is possible.
You need the problem is with those things, you need the defensive work rate from like role players.
Absolutely.
It becomes really, really important.
Butterick.
And I'm not sure I'm not sure the Western Bulldogs have had that. They've had that thing that we talked about with the Gold Coast Suns possibly where you've got like so much talent. It's like, I can't make Adam Treloar do defensive running for someone.
Yeah.
Like he's too much of a superstar of the competition to do that. I can't make Bont. I can't make Richards.
No.
They're almost a victim of having too many good players.
Yeah.
So their system doesn't work as well.
I like that. Yeah. Interesting. They'll be an intriguing side.
They will. Got my eyes on them.
I think if they can implement a really strong defensive system, they can win the flag.
I agree.
Yeah. It's a big if though.
And I've tipped them not to do particularly well.
Yeah, fair.
But
that's right.
I still do think that they've got that in them because of the superstars. And I see a big yellow sticker coming to the chat, Jesse.
Hey.
What do we got?
We have Lewis. Thank you so much, Lewis. Great show again, boys. Which B-grade players who have the potential to become A-grade players, they need to leave their current club to get more game time. Segment for next week if no time left. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm just going to read that again.
That's a tough one without prep.
Current club to get more game time. Yeah, let's leave that for a segment for next week because I actually think that's a great shout.
Yeah.
Buderick would have been one of those players.
Yeah.
Malcolm Roses Jr. would have been one of those players.
Yes.
I bet off the top of my head, I'll just say one, Jake Rogers.
Yeah. You could probably point to a lot of Gold Coast players.
Exactly.
To be honest. Yeah.
Exactly.
Alex Davies. Maybe not superstar, but like he could be a much better player.
Alex Davies could be a very, very good defensive, big-bodied mid at another club.
Yeah,
or
that's
like
right.
first possession type player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
He's played preseason and played really, really well.
Yeah. You could even say someone like a Jed Walter if he struggles to get into the side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Zane Dersma.
Zane Dersma would be one. We actually had a segment which is like players who need a big year that we haven't got time for.
No.
Some of those guys could fit that category too. Like need a sea change
Yeah.
to thrive.
Yeah.
I think Zane Dersma potentially could be a player like that. I think we will wrap up. It's 5:47. Not a huge stream tonight,
No.
but I've got to go to I'm actually going, Jesse, there's like a recruiting thing. So there's like a bunch of AFL recruiters putting on a bit of a conference
Soiree. Okay.
seminar.
Yeah.
So I'm going to that tonight.
Nice. That's
So
exciting.
I've got to run. Part
Yeah.
of the reason we've gone early.
Yep, absolutely. But there will be more content soon. We will be back tomorrow night, but not live. So you won't see us immediately. But we have got something, I think, pretty cool in the works.
We do.
We will be back Thursday, both on YouTube and Sideline FM live. So follow us along for audio. Sorry, I got distracted. I saw something. I looked at the Sideline chat. We actually have a message. Cold Charlie says, I'm a stat man. That was a reference to me using
Beautiful.
my stats. That's a great
How many
reference.
have we got in sideline?
5 at the moment.
Beautiful.
Vegetos says, thoughts on apparently the fact that AFL wants a game at the 2032 Olympics. I've never heard that.
No.
Where is the 2032
Is that in
Olympics?
Brisbane?
Maybe. A single game.
Oh, I'm getting that. I'm
Like
gonna
a
get that
showcase?
So wrong. 2030.
Well, there is something. Is it the Commonwealth Games maybe Brisbane has?
That's what.
Let us know in the chat.
No, I think they are hosting the Olympic Games.
Is it the Olympics?
I think they are hosting the Olympic
Oh,
Games.
yeah. That would make more sense than if it's in like Beijing.
Just have a look. Yeah, I want to know that.
Yeah, thank you, producer. Has
It
just
is?
confirmed it is. Yeah, because I know that Brisbane are moving from the Gabba for a number of years.
Yes, yeah. And there's been a lot of like, what do you call it? Like civic projects in Brisbane lately because of
They're getting a new stadium, aren't they?
they're getting a new stadium, and
Yeah,
I think they've
that's
done a
pretty
lot to
cool.
the city up there as well. So
That's pretty cool.
Lewis just asked, will Mondays be norm now for live streams, Jesse?
Yep, it will be the staple of the week.
Stapel.
We will some weeks do a watch along. So as I started to say there before my brain scrambled, on Thursday we'll be live on YouTube and we'll be live on Sideline FM. Beauty of Sideline is that you can hear us less delayed. So make sure you're part of that if you prefer that. And then we'll be back the following Monday. No,
Love
we'll
it.
be back the following Tuesday.
Yeah. So
Of
after
all the weeks.
after all of that, next week, Jesse will be away for that weekend, so we'll be doing that episode on Tuesday. But it is other than next week, other than that one Tuesday next week, it will be Monday, and we'll try to lock into a like standardized time.
Yeah.
We'll work that out.
That part's a little bit tricky, but
As the
we
season.
appreciate you all being here.
We absolutely do. Big audience tonight. We love you all, and we'll see you this week on Thursday night.
Thursday night.
That'll be the next time
Thursday
we see
night.
them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something
We
that
will have other videos
we just
coming
said
out.
that.
Yes. Thursday.
See you guys.